Chapter 83. Wei Yinu only saw a stream of light shooting towards him, and then his chest was pierced. He knelt on the ground, dead. Even in death, he was wondering what kind of hidden weapon could so powerfully penetrate his body and penetrate his heart. Puff! Jun Changshao blew on the smoking muzzle, lightly saying, "Your death was worth it. This bullet of mine, if converted to silver, is worth dozens of taels." It was definitely worth it. With Master Jun's strength, he could easily kill Wei Yinu with his bare hands. Shooting was a waste of bullets. Fourth brother, Wei Yishi's expression was sluggish, his eyes gradually turning red. It was not that he wanted to cry, but that he was extremely angry. His 3 younger brothers had followed him since childhood. They either bullied people together or were bullied together. Now that they had died one by one, it was a heavy blow to him. Thump thump thump. At this moment, the alarmed disciples of the Spirit Spring Sect rushed out of the inner courtyard. There were hundreds of them. When they saw the 4th elder kneeling on the ground with a hole in his chest, their eyes widened. Who killed him? For the first time, everyone looked at Jun Changshao. Especially when they saw the plaque of the sect being taken down, they knew that this guy was here to cause trouble. It's him. The green scarf martial artist who had his face stepped on in the wild looked at Jun Changshao, who was holding a tree root in his mouth, his face showing surprise. In other words, the reason why the Iron Bone Sect and the Spirit Spring Sect had reached this stage of life and death, the Green Scarf brothers' contribution could not go unnoticed. Because if he did not deliberately approach Lu Qianqian, there would not be a conflict. Sigh. How to say it? It was not entirely his fault. The main reason was that the Spirit Spring Sect was too protective of their disciples. Knowing that their disciples were beaten, they insisted on taking revenge. On the stage of grievances, Wei Yishi's killing intent expanded the conflict to an irreconcilable point. If it were any other 9th-rate sect, they would have brought their disciples to apologize during the recruitment. However, the person involved was Jun Changshao, an existence similar to an iron plate. Endure for a while and the wind is calm. Take a step back and the sky will be clear. The Spirit Spring Sect could not endure and was unwilling to retreat. They could only use the lives of their 3 elders to learn a lesson. Unfortunately, Wei Yishi hadn't learned his lesson. He clenched his fists, his eyes almost popping out of their sockets as he said in a cold voice, "Kill him." The disciples didn't dare to disobey the patriarch's order. They immediately drew their weapons and rushed over, surrounding Jun Changshao. Brother Green Scarf was among them, and the anger in his eyes was no less than the sect leaders. Who? Jun Changshao took a puff of his cigarette and blew out a smoke ring. He said, "If I were you, I wouldn't send my disciples to their deaths. Brat, cut the crap and die." One of the disciples was eager to show off in front of the patriarch and immediately brandished his saber to kill. Jun Changshao put away the desert eagle, and the cold-edged sword appeared out of thin air. With a twist of his wrist, a cold sword light flashed. Cici. There was a sword wound on his neck, and blood was spurting out. That disciple dropped his weapon and covered his wound with both hands. A muffled sound came from his throat and he fell to the ground with a despairing look on his face. Hiss. The Spirit Spring Sect disciple who was about to attack, upon seeing his 4th senior brother, who was at the 10th stage of the channel opening stage, being killed in a single strike, was so shocked that his face lost all color. Go! Go! Wei Yishi angrily roared. Why didn't he go? Because he knew that the shiny silver object Jun Changshao had just used must be a terrifying hidden weapon. If he made a move, he would be killed just like his 4th brother. Why did he let his disciples go? Because he knew that Jun Changxiao's hidden weapon should be similar to a crossbow, and there would not be a lot of bullets. He let his disciples swarm him, and if they could kill him, then they would kill him. To put it bluntly, He was using his disciples as cannon fodder. The Spirit Spring Sect disciples obviously did not think that in the eyes of the patriarch, they were so worthless, but they were still willing to listen to his orders and rushed over with their weapons. A group of pitiful people. Jun Changshao shook his head, and with the cold-edged sword in one hand, he faced the incoming Spirit Spring Sect disciples. Shua! 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 The 9 overlapping wave sword was displayed, and layers of energy accompanied by sword chi appeared, spreading out like ripples. Puchi! Puchi! The cold sword light swept past, and the 10 or so Spirit Spring Sect disciples who rushed in front of Jun Changshao all had their throats slit, and fell to the ground like blooming flowers. Drip, drip. The tip of the cold-edged sword pointed downwards, and drops of blood dripped down, splattering on the stone floor. Standing in front of dozens of corpses, Jun Changshao's eyes flashed coldly, as if he was a killing god from hell. The Spirit Spring Sect disciples were frightened, and surrounded him with their weapons in fear, but did not dare to rush over. Jun Changshao raised his head, and pointed his sword at Wei Yishi, saying, "The person I want to kill today is him. If you don't want to be souls under my sword, get out of here." The Spirit Spring Sect disciples were not heinous bandits, and he did not want to kill too much. So this time, the so-called extermination of the sect was to eliminate the Wei brothers. "Kid, die." Just at this moment, a disciple raised his sword and slashed down from behind. Jun Changshao, who thought he was merciful enough, had a cold look in his eyes, and swung the cold-edged sword. Whoosh! With a flash of sword light, the martial artist's weapon was cut off, and his head was also chopped off. Kill! Kill! The Spirit Spring Sect disciples took the opportunity to attack from all directions. Jun Changshao no longer suppressed it, and his 5th-grade martial disciple cultivation was fully released. He poured his spirit energy into the cold-edged sword, and it instantly emitted a cold and gloomy aura. "Since you are so stubborn, don't blame me for starting a massacre in the Spirit Spring Mountain." While speaking, he suddenly swung his sword, dragging out a long shadow of the sword. Ding! 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 Wherever the cold-edged sword passed, the swords and sabers were all broken. Some of the sabers and swords even pierced the legs of the Spirit Spring Sect disciples. They did not have time to scream, because the second sword had already mercilessly slashed over. Whoosh! The cold-edged sword passed by, bringing along a cold light. Puchi! Puchi! The 20 or so Spirit Spring Sect disciples who rushed over stood still, and a neat small sword mark appeared on their Adam's apple. They immediately lowered their heads. Jun Changshao walked past them, and the 20 or so drops of blood on the cold-edged sword were instantly evaporated by his spirit energy. Plop! After only a few steps, the 20 Spirit Spring Sect disciples staggered and fell to the ground. These people's cultivation were only at the 5th or 6th stage of the channel opening realm. With the cold-edged sword and the strength of a 5th-grade martial disciple, Jun Changshao could easily kill them. Wei Yishi was terrified. At this moment, he had roughly deduced that the strength of this Iron Bones sect master was not lower than a 4th-grade martial disciple. The patriarch of the Spirit Spring sect was not the only one who was frightened, but the disciples as well. Although they surrounded Jun Changshao, they also followed him step by step, and retreated. Their eyes were filled with fear. Killing fellow sect members was like cutting grass, so they must be afraid. Go! Go! Wei Yishi roared like a madman. He did not care about the lives of his disciples. As long as he could kill Jun Changshao, even if they all died, it did not matter. However, Jun Changshao was too strong. The Spirit Spring Sect disciples did not dare to rush up. Even facing his cold eyes, the hands holding their weapons were trembling violently. This was a killing god. Whoever went up would die. Restrain, restrain. Shua! Jun Changshao raised his sword, and a cold light flashed. A cold aura spread out, making everyone's scalp numb. They immediately made the wise choice to retreat as far as possible. You all. Wei Yishi's anger soared to the sky. He originally wanted to rely on his disciples to delay, and then take the opportunity to escape. But now, they all ran away. Jun Changshao, who had no disciples blocking his way, rushed forward like an arrow. The cold-edged sword that was infused with spirit energy drew a cold sword light. Not good, Puchi. Just as Wei Yishi's heart was filled with a strong sense of crisis, his head flew out and fell in front of the plaque in the courtyard. A line of blood splattered on the 3 words Spirit Spring Sect. Patriarch. The Spirit Spring Sect disciples stood in place stupidly. On this day, a fire suddenly broke out on the Spirit Spring Mountain, burning for a full day and night. The Spirit Spring Sect that occupied the mountain said goodbye to Jianghu. Who? Jun Changshao, who had descended the mountain, stood on a boulder and took a deep puff of his cigar. Looking at the distant scenery, he whispered, "Why is there no taste of nicotine?" The system said, "This is an electronic cigarette." Damn. Chapter 84. The Spirit Spring Sect that had been established for less than 10 years had been reduced to ashes in a huge fire. More than 200 disciples, because of the death of the patriarch and the elder, had scattered. Perhaps they would join other sects, perhaps they would go and live an ordinary life, but the scene of Jun Changshao killing people would forever be engraved in their hearts, becoming an indelible memory of fear. In the wilderness, Brother Green Hat knelt in front of the grave, clenching his fist tightly. Patriarch, elder, disciple will one day avenge you, avenge the Spirit Spring Sect. Standing up, carrying his luggage, he resolutely walked towards the east. There was a colossus there, called the Spirit Spring Sect. Jun Changshao. Brother Green Hat's voice rippled. My name is Dai Lu, remember it clearly. These words, he only dared to shout in the forest where there was no one around. Big news, big news. The Spirit Spring Sect was set on fire yesterday, the entire sect was reduced to ashes, and the disciples all ran away. In Yaoyang City, the sky had just begun to brighten, and a martial artist was shouting on the streets. This news was like a wildfire, instantly spreading through the streets, every household, and even every nook and cranny. The first reaction of the martial artists in the city was, "This early in the morning, what kind of joke is this?" When people went to the Spirit Spring Mountain one after another and saw the ruins of the sect, they firmly believed that the Spirit Spring Sect that had been tyrannical for many years was really gone. My mother, who is so daring to set fire to the Spirit Spring Sect. Patriarch Wei and Elder Wei. I heard from the disciples that escaped that the Patriarch and Elder of the Spirit Spring Sect were all killed. This sect can be considered to have been completely removed from the Jianghu. Who killed them? I'm afraid you won't believe it, but the one who killed the Wei brothers was the head of the Iron Bone Sect. Iron Bone Sect? Isn't that a ninth-rate sect? How did he have the strength to destroy the Spirit Spring Sect? Did he invite some expert? He didn't invite any expert, it was just him alone. Damn, is the sect leader of a ninth-rate sect that awesome? The Spirit Spring Sect and the Iron Bone Sect clashed in Qingyang City. I thought that the Iron Bone Sect would cease to exist, but I didn't expect that the Spirit Spring Sect would be destroyed instead. Behind the Spirit Spring Sect is the Holy Spring Sect. If they knew about this, they would definitely go to the Iron Bone Sect to denounce us. Not just the Sacred Spring Sect, the 100 Sect Alliance will not let Iron Bone off either. After all, there is a rule that sects in the alliance cannot commit acts of extermination. Yaoyang City was completely shaken. Whether it was martial artists or ordinary people, they were all talking about the destruction of the Spirit Spring Sect and the Iron Bone Sect leader. The news quickly spread throughout the Azure Sun County. The Long Blade Sect, the Tiger's Howl Sect, and the other sects were in an uproar after receiving the news of the Spirit Spring Sect's destruction. What kind of joke was this? The Spirit Spring Sect was destroyed by the Iron Bone Sect? When more and more news came in, they had no choice but to accept this fact. Azure Sun City, City Lord's Mansion. City Lord Xia also received the news. He stood in his study with his hands behind his back and said, "First, you led your disciples to become the champion of the sect competition, and then you destroyed the Spirit Spring sect. Sect leader June, you really are someone who can achieve great things." However, he shook his head and said, "Although the Holy Spring sect does not recognize the Spirit Spring sect, the Four-Way brothers were still disciples of the sect. You killed them, which is equivalent to provoking a fifth-rate sect." Reporting. A guard walked in and cupped his hands. "The 100 Sect Alliance leader is here to visit." "Ha!" City Lord Xie said, "You came quite quickly." He rubbed his temples and said, "Please enter the guest hall." "Yes." The guest hall. A middle-aged man walked in and cupped his hands. "City Lord Xie, long time no see. I've missed you." City Lord Xie gestured for him to sit down. "Is Alliance leader Qin here for the Iron Bone sect?" "That's right." Alliance leader Qin said angrily, "Iron Bone sect is a member of the 100 Sect Alliance. It is intolerable for them to destroy a sect. I am here today in hopes that City Lord can." City Lord Xie interrupted, "Iron Bone sect may be a member of the 100 Sect Alliance, but it is still within the borders of Azure Sun City. I don't care which faction you represent, you cannot touch it. Otherwise, you will be making an enemy of the 3.6 million citizens of Azure Sun City." Alliance leader Qin's face darkened. "City Lord Xie, you want to protect Iron Bone sect?" City Lord Xie tapped his finger on the table. "Don't misunderstand. I am not protecting Iron Bone sect, I am protecting the citizens of Azure Sun City." "Good." Alliance leader Qin said, "Since that is the case, let's follow the rules of Azure Sun City. Jun Changshao, a citizen of your city, killed the Wei brothers and more than 30 disciples. What should be his punishment?" "Not guilty." City Lord Xie said indifferently. "Pa!" Alliance leader Qin slammed the table and said angrily, "City Lord Xie, you don't want the 100 Sect Alliance to interfere, and you don't want to punish Jun Changshao. This is too obvious." "Pa!" City Lord Xie slammed the table and shouted, "The Spirit Spring sect hired assassins from the Drizzle building to enter Azure Sun City. I want to ask, who gave them the guts to do so? Very fierce, very strong. Drizzle building assassins?" Alliance leader Qin was stunned. Obviously, he did not know the inside story. City Lord Xie said coldly, "The conflict between the Spirit Spring sect and Iron Bone sect was just a small one." Wei Yishi held a grudge in his heart. He first colluded with the bandits, then hired assassins, and did all sorts of despicable things. He deserved to be destroyed. Alliance leader Qin was silent. He knew that since Xie Guankuan said so, there must be evidence. Alliance leader Qin. City Lord Xie said indifferently, "If Jun Changshao had done something heartless, you don't need to come and punish him. This city lord would have already done it." Alliance leader Qin calmed down and said gently, "How about this, City Lord Xie, please call Jun Changshao over. I, Qin, will speak with him as the alliance leader." Xie Guankuan said, "Since Iron Bone is a member of your alliance, as the alliance leader, you can naturally speak with him. Let's meet at the Star Moon Pavilion." Alliance leader Qin understood that this guy was afraid that he would act recklessly, so he purposely set the meeting in his own territory. Thus, he compromised and said, "Please inform sect leader June that we will meet at the Star Moon Pavilion 3 days later." Saying so, he stood up and cupped his hands, "Goodbye. I won't send you off," Xie Guankuan said. After alliance leader Qin left, he sat down and drank some tea. He shook his head and said, "Sect leader June, this city lord almost turned against the 100 Sect Alliance for you." "City Lord Xie, you can't say that." Jun Changshao walked out from the inner screen and smiled, "You and I are working together. It's a win-win situation." Saying so, he placed 2 beginner-grade healing pills on the table. So this guy had been in the study all this while. He was the one who told Xie Guangquan about the destruction of the Spirit Spring Sect and Wei Yishi's actions. Jun Changshao had predicted that the 100 Sect Alliance would denounce him, so he thought of a countermeasure in advance. Using 2 beginner-grade healing pills as the price, he asked City Lord Xia to help suppress the matter. Destroying a sect was a big deal. Jun Changshao knew the importance of dealing with the aftermath. Otherwise, how could he survive in the falling star continent where everyone was scheming against each other? Xie Guangquan picked up one of the beginner-grade healing pills and said, "Sect leader Jun, does this pill really have the ability to heal injuries quickly?" Jun Changshao said, "Is there a need for Jun to lie to City Lord Xie?" Xie Guangquan met his gaze and laughed, "You're right. You and I are working together. It's a win-win situation." Jun Changshao stood up and said, "I still have matters to attend to in the sect. I will take my leave first. Don't forget, 3 days later at the Star Moon Pavilion." Xie Guangquan said, "I will keep my promise." Jun Changshao said as he walked out of the hall and climbed over the wall to leave the city lord's residence. Xie Guangquan placed the pill in front of his nose and sniffed it. He muttered, "After destroying the Spirit Spring Sect, he came to me to help suppress the matter. This kid is really not simple." Chapter 85. There were many large and small sects in Azure Sun County. A few decades ago, they formed an alliance and elected sect leader Qin Haoran of the 6th-rate Vast Qi sect as the first alliance leader. Their aim was to develop harmoniously and advance hand in hand. Other than the high-ranked sects, most of the sects in Azure Sun County would choose to join and become a member of the alliance. If a sect did not join the 100 Sect Alliance, they would be despised by the other sections. When sect leader Wang established the Iron Bone sect, he treated everyone to a meal and gave them gifts in order to increase the sect's reputation. Unfortunately, his efforts had been wasted today. Because many sects in the alliance were unhappy with Jun Changshao's actions of destroying the Spirit Spring sect and publicly condemned him. When alliance leader Qin found out, he was also furious. He personally went to Azure Sun City to find City Lord Xia and hoped that he would not interfere with the alliance's matters. He decided to punish Iron Bone severely. Although he was rejected, he would not give up. As the alliance leader, he decided to have a good talk with Iron Bone sect leader at the Star Moon Pavilion 3 days later. When the higher-ups of the various sects found out, they praised the alliance leader's wisdom and were willing to accompany him. They planned to use their saliva to drown that arrogant fellow. When force was not enough to solve the problem, words became even more important. The news of the 100 Sect Alliance leader meeting Iron Bone at the Star Moon Pavilion and the destruction of the Spirit Spring Sect spread throughout Azure Sun County. Indeed, the 100 Sect Alliance was alerted. Jun Changshao has caused a huge trouble this time, he has to give an explanation. In my opinion, Alliance leader Qin is afraid of the Spirit Spring Sect and can only punish Iron Bone. Many sect leaders have expressed that they want to attend the meeting. There will definitely be many sect leaders in Azure Sun City 3 days later. What meeting? It's obviously an interrogation of Iron Bone. Yes, it's an interrogation. All the cultivators in the various cities were discussing. Some of them were looking forward to how the 100 Sect Alliance would make things difficult for Jun Changshao 3 days later. Iron Bone, Main Hall. After returning, Jun Changshao leaned sideways and placed one leg on the chair. He supported his chin with one hand and said, "I'm afraid there will be a banquet 3 days later." Sect leader Li Qingyang asked weakly, "Did you really destroy the Spirit Spring sect?" "Okay," Jun Changshao replied. Li Qingyang said solemnly, "The Spirit Spring sect is a member of the 100 Sect Alliance. The sect leader will definitely be held accountable for destroying it." Jun Changshao walked down, patted his shoulder and said, "In the sect, you're the only one who's able to consider things. Your personality is relatively steady. I'm very gratified. Li Qingyang was startled, and an ominous feeling rose in his heart. As expected. Jun Changshao said that Yi Xingqian is a little troublemaker. As the second disciple, you should discipline him more strictly. If he does anything out of line, there's only one word to describe it: torture. After that, he patted his shoulder and left in a carefree manner. Li Qingyang stood where he was and counted with his fingers. With a confused expression, he said, 2 words. Jun Changshao returned to his residence in the inner courtyard. He sat down cross-legged and circulated the body metamorphosis scripture to absorb spiritual energy. Ho ho! The spiritual energy of heaven and earth was drawn in, slowly enveloping him, forming a faint mist. The spiritual energy entered his body through his pores, gathering in his meridians, then guided to his dantian and merged with it. On Starfall Continent, every realm will unlock a new ability. The ability of a martial disciple is to open up his dantian vortex. Don't underestimate this ability. The more energy and the purer it is, the stronger a martial disciple will be. After Jun Changshao broke through, what he needs to do is to continuously strengthen his dantian vortex, breaking through his limit again and again to reach a higher realm. After cultivating for a while, he shook his head in dissatisfaction, saying, "Spirit roots are limited, relying on hard work is too slow." The system spoke, "The host can consider refreshing the store. Maybe you can find a talent-altering liquid that can raise your dantian to a mid-grade spirit root." Jun Changshao opened the store. Ding! Contribution, 140500. The 4 points less is because of the spirit energy formation and Sect protection formation. New products appeared in the store. The first thing Jun Changshao saw was an item called Magically Altered Sound System. He was very sensitive to the word magically altered, so he clicked on the detailed introduction item, Magically Altered Sound System. Introduction, a musical instrument that can play songs. Effect, suitable for disciples' morning exercises. After turning on the sound system, divine music will play, and it can cultivate the mood. Special effect, the host's mind can lock onto targets within 100 meters. When they hear the divine music, they will be brainwashed and unconsciously dance to the beat. Effectiveness, once opened, use. Weakness, the interference of the divine music will only take effect once a month. Those with high cultivation may be immune to the brainwashing of the divine music. Price, 10 contribution points. Jun Changshao said, "Brainwashing of the divine music, seems interesting." He retracted the detailed introduction and looked at the other items. Finding that they were useless, he decisively bought the magically altered sound system. After a series of notifications, Jun Changshao refreshed the store. This time, his luck was off the charts. There was a talent-altering liquid in the items. He clicked on it and found that it was suitable for mortal-grade spirit roots, but the price was still 50 contribution points. Buy. Ding. The host has spent 50 contribution points and obtained talent-altering liquid X1, ding. Sect contribution points, 80500. Jun Changshao took out the talent-altering liquid, opened the bottle and drank it without hesitation. It was still the same taste, a little mellow with malt. Ding! The host has used talent-altering liquid X1. Altering the spirit roots aptitude. Spirit roots aptitude alteration completed. The host has successfully broken through to 6th grade martial disciple. The change in his aptitude caused Jun Changshao's cultivation to increase, but it was only by 1 grade. After his spirit root was upgraded to middle grade, sect leader Jun's compatibility with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth had increased. After a night of cultivation, the results were obvious. Not bad, not bad. He walked out of the room, swinging his arms. The sky was just beginning to brighten, and everything was so fresh. Just as he went to the outer courtyard, he saw Xiao Ziji walking out of the training room, squatting on the stairs and panting tiredly. "You've worked hard," Jun Changshao praised. The disciples got up one after another, washed up, and came to the training field for their routine cultivation. Hurry up. Li Qingyang also came, but Yi Xingqian followed behind him. This Night Emperor, Lord Yi Xingqian, had his head lowered, but his eyes were cold. What's going on? Jun Changshao asked. Li Qingyang said, Sect leader, Junior Martial Brother Yi hasn't done any morning exercises since he joined the sect. This time, I pulled him over. Yi Xingqian said coldly, I am a dignified martial emperor. Why would I do morning exercises with you bunch of ordinary people? Jun Changshao said, Xingqian, I think you haven't adapted to the life of a sect yet. He snapped his fingers and said, in order to make you happy, I have to adjust the atmosphere of the sect. Atmosphere? Everyone was confused. Jun Changshao changed the sound system and placed it in front of the main hall. He said, from now on, you will have beautiful music to accompany you during morning exercises every day. Su Xiaoma came over and looked left and right. Sect leader, what is this? Jun Changshao didn't explain. When all the male and female disciples arrived, he gently pressed the button on the sound system. 2 subwoofers suddenly sounded move, 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 oh my god. Su Xiaoma, who had his ear pressed against the subwoofers, heard the sound and was so scared that he fell down the stairs. It was like a seaweed, seaweed, seaweed. Swaying with the waves. Seaweed, seaweed, seaweed. A very melodious divine tune sounded in the iron bone training field. Idiot. Yi Xingqian muttered. At this moment, Jun Changshao pointed in his direction and said, come, come, jump. Yi Xingqian's pupils shrank. He couldn't help but spread his legs and raise his hands. Then, he jumped to the rhythm of the divine tune. A dignified martial emperor stood on the training field and danced with joy. Occasionally, he would put one hand on the ground and lift his whole body. The disciples looked at him with strange expressions. Jun Changshao took off his long robe and put his fingers in his mouth. He whistled and shouted, babies, let's have fun. His will spread and enveloped all the disciples. Then nearly 100 disciples lined up neatly and jumped to the rhythm of the divine tune. Second senior brother, I can't control my body. I can't control myself either. Hee hee, it's so fun. Why isn't senior sister jumping with us? Chapter 86. After being brainwashed by the divine melody, the iron bone disciples felt refreshed. They did not feel tired even after a whole day of cultivation. This was the effect of the magically modified sound system. Not only could it liven up the atmosphere, but it also had a refreshing effect. However, after the morning exercise, Yi Xingqian squatted in a corner and held his head with both hands. He howled in his heart, what did I do? What did I do? Where was his dignity? Where was his temper? Especially when he thought about how he had been singing and dancing in public, his eyes turned red. He wished he could tear a hole in the ground with his hands and crawl into it. The more Yi Xingqian thought about it, the more pained he felt. He raised his head and roared. Whoosh, the ball of happiness shot toward him from a tricky angle. Swoosh. Yi Xingqian twisted his body and the ball swept past his face. He thought disdainfully, I'm not who I was a few days ago. Junior brother, watch your back. Su Xiaoma shouted. Yi Xingqian was stunned. He instinctively looked back and saw the ball that had hit the wall bounce back. Bang, thump. Yi Xingqian lay on the ground with his arms and legs spread out. He was not who he was a few days ago, but he still had the ability to catch the ball with his face. He really wanted to die. He really wanted to be reborn again. Li Fei, what kind of stupid footwork is that? You kicked junior brother in the face again. The next day, iron bone disciples were happily doing morning exercises to the tune of the divine melody. Yi Xingqian, who was supervised by Li Qingyang, could only do the exercises despite his resistance. However, he remained silent, as if he was an autistic patient. After the morning exercises, the disciples cultivated on their own. Jun Changshao walked over and sat on the stairs. He said, "How have you been these past few days?" Yi Xingchen, who was sitting next to him, was silent. Jun Changshao said, "Your eyes tell me that you're someone with a story." Yi Xingchen continued to be silent. If he had enough strength now, he would definitely press the sect leader to the ground and ruthlessly rub him against the ground. Jun Changshao reclined with his hands on the stairs and said, "Actually, I envy people like you who have stories. You're not like me, whose life is summed up by the word handsome." Yi Xingchen, Jun Changshao stood up and patted the dust off his butt. "Xingchen, if you hold a grudge against me for forcing you into the sect, you can leave now." "Really?" Yi Xingchen finally spoke. Jun Changshao threw the disciple admission form to him and pointed to the door. "You can leave now. No one will stop you." Schwa. Yi Xingchen got up and walked towards the door. Jun Changshao crossed his arms and said, "However, you have to consider this carefully. Leaving this place is equivalent to losing a lot of cultivation resources. If you have any grudges, it will be difficult for you to take revenge." Yi Xingchen stopped in his tracks and clenched his fists. He really wanted to leave immediately, but after going through the muscle-building training, his physical body had improved rapidly. He was a little reluctant to leave. Was he right? This guy had enemies. Jun Changshao said, "I don't know your story, and I don't want to hear it. But you just have to remember that cultivating in the Iron Bone School will only make you stronger." The disciples who were playing football on the training field stopped and looked at Yi Xingchen, who seemed to be about to leave. "Junior brother." Su Xiaoma picked up the ball and shouted, "Although our sect is a little weak now, under the leadership of the sect leader, we will definitely become stronger. If you leave, you will regret it for the rest of your life." "TSK," Yi Xingchen snorted coldly. Then, he stepped back and stood beside Jun Changshao. "Can it help me break through to the Martial Emperor realm?" He mentioned the Martial Emperor realm the moment he opened his mouth. This guy was definitely not simple. Jun Changshao touched his nose and said, "Martial Emperor is just the beginning. If there are higher realms, I can easily take you there. Let's show off first and talk about it later." Knight Emperor threw the entry form over and said, "I'm going to cultivate." He acknowledged me as his disciple. That was rare. Could it be that a martial emperor was fooled by Jun Changshao just like that? No, he was just obsessed with the muscle building room. Moreover, he needed a place to concentrate on cultivating. Although the Iron Bone School was weak, at least it was quiet. Jun Changshao forced him into the sect, and Su Xiaoma beat him up. All of this was nothing to Yi Xingchen because his only goal after being reborn was to drag the Empress down from her pedestal. Of course, he did not know that if he really took the entry form and walked out of the Iron Bone School, he would not only lose the muscle building room, but also all the memories related to the tendon-changing scripture. Jun Changshao said, "Follow me to Qingyang City tomorrow. I'll take you to see the world." The world? Yi Xingchen sneered in his heart. As one of the 10 martial emperors in his previous life, what world had he not seen? The next day, the disciple continued to cultivate as usual. Jun Changshao was ready to leave, bringing Li Qingyang, Su Xiaoma, Xiao Ziji, and Yi Xingchen to Qingyang City. Sect Master. On the way, Li Qingyang said, "The 100 Sect Alliance leader invited you. It's a little inappropriate to bring us along." Jun Changshao said, "There's nothing inappropriate about it." TSK. So he was going to attend a sect meeting in a small county. This was considered a world. Back then, this emperor discussed martial arts with the 9 great martial emperors on Crimson Cloud Mountain. Yi Xingchen thought to himself. This guy was still immersed in his past glory and did not know that he was just a useless person in this life. After a few days of cultivation, Yi Xingchen's body was obviously much stronger than before. If he did not have the muscle-building room, he would not have grown so quickly. Unfortunately, he did not comprehend the body metamorphose scripture, nor did he comprehend the Taishian scripture. His cultivation was still stuck at the first level of channel opening. Or his spirit roots were too weak. Qingyang City. Jun Changshao rushed over again. Unlike before, when he brought his disciple into the city, the passers-by no longer looked at him with disdain and contempt. His disciple took the top 4 spots and destroyed the Spirit Spring sect. At this time, who would dare to think of Iron Bone as a mediocre sect? Sect Master Jun, Li family head welcomed him with a smile on his face. Father. Li Qingyang called out. After joining the sect, this was the first time he returned to Qingyang City. Jun Changshao said considerately, "Go accompany your father and fulfill your filial piety. I'll bring your junior brothers to the appointment." This was the reason why he brought Li Qingyang to Qingyang City. Li Qingyang said seriously, "Sect Master, after this matter is settled, disciple will talk to father about the old days." He was the son of Li family head, and also a disciple of Iron Bone. At this banquet, the alliance leader and the higher-ups of the various sects would definitely deliberately make things difficult for him. As the second disciple, how could he not accompany the sect master? All right. Jun Changshao cupped his hands and said, "Li family head, I still have matters to attend to. After I'm done, I will visit your residence." Saying so, he brought his 4 disciples to the Star Moon Pavilion. Sigh. Watching his son leave, Li family head sighed. He knew that Jun Changshao was going to attend the meeting, and the Star Moon Pavilion was booked yesterday. Inside were all the sect masters of the various sections. Qingyang would be fine if he went, right? There are at least 30 sect masters in the Star Moon Pavilion. It's a big lineup. If I went in and met so many big shots, I would probably be scared to the ground. Sect Master Jun destroyed the Spirit Spring sect. The alliance is very angry. This time, he will definitely be targeted. The passers-by and martial artists discussed in low voices. Xia Guankuan stood in the study and heard from the guard that Jun Changshao had entered the city. He muttered, "Kid, this is an internal matter of your alliance. It's not convenient for me to participate. I hope you can handle it." Chapter 87. The extravagant alliance Chief Qin booked the entire Star Moon Pavilion. There was not a single random person inside. There were 5 large round tables on the second floor. There was 1 in the center and 4 on both sides. Apart from the center where only 1 person sat, the other 4 had 8 people sitting at each table. Sitting alone at the big round table was Qin Haoren. He put his hands on the table and leaned against the back of the chair. He closed his eyes and rested his mind. His whole body emitted the aura of someone who had been in a high position for a long time. The 32 martial artists on both sides were the big shots of the various sections. Although they did not have the might of the Alliance Master, they still exuded an aura that made people revere them. Because of their presence, the entire second floor became especially solemn. At this time, if an ordinary person came in and saw such a scene, they would definitely be scared out of their wits. Alliance Head Qin. After a long time, the Long Blade Gates Patriarch couldn't help but ask, "It's almost noon, why isn't Iron Bone Gates Patriarch here yet? Will he stand us up?" The Tiger's Howl School Patriarch asked. "No," Alliance Master Qin said firmly. Xia Guankuan was the one who contacted Iron Bone. He didn't think that Iron Bone would dare to break their promise. "Humph," one of the elders said indifferently, "the Alliance Conference is such an important event and he actually came late. It seems like he doesn't care about the 100 Sect Alliance at all. When he comes, I must ask him if he is familiar with the rules of the 100 Sect Alliance." "Forget about it, Sect Head Wei. If Jun Changshao knew the rules of the Alliance, how could he do something as outrageous as exterminating the Spirit Spring sect? Motherfucker, that guy destroyed the Spirit Spring sect. If the Sacred Spring sect comes after us, we'll definitely suffer. The sect leaders of the various sects discussed with righteous indignation. From the looks of it, if Jun Changshao were to come, he would definitely drown in his saliva. In fact, if it was any other sect that was destroyed, they wouldn't be so angry. However, the one that was destroyed was the Spirit Spring sect that was related to the Sacred Spring sect. The Sacred Spring sect was a sect that was as different as heaven and earth compared to other sections. Not to mention the upper echelons, just a single disciple was enough to torture him to the point that he doubted his own life. Qin Haoran's expression also became solemn. This time, the alliance meeting was held to represent the alliance to stand up for the Spirit Spring sect and give the Sacred Spring sect an explanation. Thump, thump, thump. Suddenly, the sound of someone coming up the stairs was heard. Qin Haoran and the 32 sect leaders all looked at the staircase, their eyes flashing coldly. Jun Changxiao's head was the first to appear at the top of the stairs. Seeing so many people, he said, "I'm sorry, my appearance is wrong. Please wait a moment." As he spoke, he retracted his hand. Why did he go down again? I'm afraid he's so scared that he doesn't dare to meet City Lord Qin. Since you're afraid, you shouldn't have destroyed the Spirit Spring sect. Dudugu, 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 dudugu. Suddenly, a slightly deafening low sound was heard, startling all the sect leaders and causing them to stand up and stare at the stairs. Under the background music of the god of gamblers, Jun Changshao walked up in a mink coat with a cigar in his mouth. So flirtatious that it was unbearable. Li Qingyang, Su Xiaoma, and Xiao Ziji followed. They stood in a line behind the sect leader, their hands crossed. If they wore a black suit and sunglasses, they would look like a dark evil force. Martial Emperor Yi Xingchen walked up with a crazy face, carrying a stereo. Fuck. So embarrassing, so shameful. Suddenly, the divine song suddenly changed, and he sang, "Don't look at me as just a sheep." The corner of Jun Changxiao's mouth twitched, "Turn it off." Pa. The stereo was turned off. Silence. On the opposite side, alliance leader Qin and the 32 sect leaders all stared with wide eyes, their eyes filled with the luster of, "What the hell is this?" Jun Changxiao shrugged. Li Qingyang stepped forward, took the mink coat that he rented from the town, and then returned to his original position. Puff. Blowing out a smoke ring, Jun Changshao said indifferently, "Alliance leader Qin, such a big table, you didn't even prepare a chair, isn't it a bit against the rules of Jianghu?" The leader of the 9 Streams Iron Fist gang said indifferently, "Do you think your iron bone deserves to sit on a chair?" There was a ready-made chair next to him, originally reserved for Jun Changshao, but it was deliberately taken back. This approach was supported by the sect leaders of the various sections. Not to mention the level of the sect, just the destruction of the Spirit Spring sect violated the rules of the alliance. What qualifications did the leader of the Iron Bone gang have to be on equal footing with him in the meeting? "I've sinned." Jun Changshao said, "Bring the chair over." "Yes." Xiao Ziji walked over. The leader of the Iron Fist gang pressed one hand on the chair and said indifferently, "If someone wants to take it, it should be the sect leader." "What are you, a disciple?" The elders of the various sects watched with interest. The Iron Fist gang was famous for their iron fists. With one hand on the chair, the Iron Bone disciple certainly couldn't move an inch. "Please take your hand away," Xiao Ziji said indifferently. The leader of the Iron Fist gang changed his palm into a fist and said disdainfully, "I said, let your sect leader, Shua." Xiao Ziji's right arm suddenly swung over, the power of his body exploding. Not only was the speed fast, it also carried a gust of wind. The leader of the Iron Fist gang's face changed greatly, subconsciously raising his arms to block. Pang! The heavy iron arm was like a sledgehammer, fiercely slamming into his arms. The power exploded, directly lifting him up, and then with a bang, he broke the window and flew out. Outside the Star Moon Pavilion, many martial artists gathered. They were either whispering or looking up at the second floor. Suddenly the window broke, and a person fell down from above, instantly giving them a big fright. Oh my God! The leader of the Iron Bone gang had just gone up, and the Alliance had already acted. Exciting, exciting! Many martial artists looked over and were suddenly dumbstruck. Because the person who fell from the second floor was not a member of the Iron Bone gang, but the leader of the Iron Fist gang. It hurts. The Star Moon Pavilion was silent. The elders of the various sects were stunned as they watched Xiao Ziji pick up the chair, place it behind the leader of the Iron Bone gang, and then return it to its original position. His exposed right arm revealed beautiful muscle lines. At first glance, one could tell that it was very powerful. That guy is obviously a trash without spiritual power, but with only the strength of his body, he sent a martial disciple flying. It's unbelievable. Yi Xingqian was secretly shocked. Jun Changshao sat down elegantly, one hand holding a cigar, one leg crossed, and said indifferently, "Everyone, I've come to keep the appointment." Bang! The leader of the Long Blade gang slammed the table and stood up, angrily saying, "Jun Changshao, this is the Alliance meeting. Your disciple acted without permission, is there any law?" The tone of the word, law, suddenly weakened. Because Jun Changshao had already mounted the Desert Eagle and pointed down, saying, "If you have something to say, sit down and talk." The faces of the leaders of the various sects changed. After the destruction of the Spirit Spring sect, they learned the truth from many sources and learned that Wei Yinu was killed by this silver hidden weapon. A 12th level Meridian Opening Realm cultivator was shot to death in an instant. This was no ordinary hidden weapon. The leader of the Long Blade gang was angry, but he still sat down obediently. That's right. Jun Changshao put away his spear, took a puff of his cigar, and said with a smile, "Since it's the Alliance meeting, why do you have to stand and talk?" Leader Qin went straight to the point, saying in a low voice, "Leader Jun, did you destroy the Spirit Spring sect?" "That's right." Jun Changshao didn't deny it. Leader Qin said with a cold face, "According to the rules of the Alliance, members can't destroy a sect without permission. As the leader, you should know, right?" "I know," Jun Changshao answered. Leader Qin's face became gloomier, saying, "Leader Jun, why do you still do it when you know it's impossible?" Jun Changshao bent down, put his elbow on his leg, and said with a smile, "Because, the motto of the Iron Bone sect is, if someone offends me, I will retaliate." Li Qingyang and the other disciples' mouths twitched. "My sect leader, isn't the motto of our Iron Bone Zheng sect changing every day? P.S. Vote." Chapter 88. The Iron Bone's motto was to be an unyielding person and do unyielding things. Then, it was to be indifferent to life and death. Now, there was one more: if someone offends me, I will offend that person. Although the motto changed frequently, the real emphasis was "don't provoke me." The Spirit Spring sect was provoked, so it was destroyed. The Long Blade sect's patriarch coldly said, "Regardless of whether the Spirit Spring sect offended you or not, you can't just destroy their sect." Jun Changshao glanced at him and said indifferently, "If your sect offends the Iron Bone, you will end up like the Spirit Spring sect." Very arrogant, very arrogant. The Long Blade sect's patriarch was furious. The Tiger's Howl sect's patriarch coldly said, "Sect Master Jun, don't go too far. Don't tell me you don't understand this kind of Jianghu rule." Jun Changshao leaned back in his chair and crossed his legs, saying indifferently, "Those who provoke me will be directly destroyed. There will be no need to see them again." This guy. The other sects' patriarchs were furious. During the 100 Sect Alliances conference, Sect Master Wang kept a low profile and didn't say anything. Yet, this second-generation sect master was so arrogant and despotic. Another sect master righteously said, "Ignoring the Alliance's rules and destroying members of the Alliance is an unforgivable crime. Alliance Master Qin, please punish them severely as a warning to others." Each sect's patriarchs took turns to speak. They clearly wanted to use their strongest spit to drown the most arrogant sect master Jun. Unforgivable crime? Jun Changshao indifferently said, Sect Master Toad, I want to ask you, a sect that first communicated with bandits, then hired assassins, and played dirty tricks, what kind of crime is this in the alliance? That sect master was speechless. Another sect master took over and said, Sect Master Jun, if this is true, then show us the evidence. The alliance headquarters will uphold justice for you. If there is no evidence, then you are going against the heavens and betraying the alliance. Uphold justice. Jun Changshao indifferently said, Forgive me for speaking bluntly, but you don't have justice in your hearts. You are just pretending. You. The sect leader was furious. Jun Changshao said indifferently, the Spirit Spring sect colluded with the bandits and hired assassins. I had a good reason to destroy them. What crime was that? On the other hand, you ignorant men who fear the Sacred Spring sect. You talk about Jianghu's morality all day long, yet you don't send a punitive force to punish the thief. You only care about your food and clothing. What face do you have to banter with me here? You. The sect leader's voice trembled. Jun Changshao loudly rebuked, You, as the leader of a sect, have never done anything for the people. You only know how to wag your tongue. Now that I have annihilated the Spirit Spring sect that colluded with the bandits, you are quibbling for it. You are like a dog with a broken spine, barking madly here. I have never seen such a shameless person. Pooh! Hearing this, the sect leader was so angry that he vomited blood on the spot. Taking a puff of his cigarette, Jun Changshao inwardly commented, Zhuge Kongming's words are truly valiant. A war of words. Come on, let's hurt each other. If I don't beat you to a pulp, I'll write the word internet troll backwards. Cold sweat dripped down the foreheads of the various sect leaders. Luckily, the one he insulted was Situ Wang. If it was him, he would probably vomit 3 liters of blood in anger. Alliance Master Qin's face darkened. He obviously did not expect that a guy who was not even 20 years old would have such a high skill in insulting others. What should he do next? Jun Changshao said, Everyone, speak freely. The corners of the sect leaders' mouths twitched. They wanted to speak freely, they wanted to say the lines that they had thought of before, but compared to Jun Changshao's insulting words just now, they suddenly felt weak. Second senior brother. Su Xiaoma stood at the back, whispering, Sect leader made that old man vomit blood. This is simply too terrifying. Li Qingyang and Xiao Ziji expressed their agreement, and their admiration for the sect leader went up another level. Yi Xingchen, on the other hand, thought disdainfully, in this world, only the weak will use their mouths to retort. The truly strong can only use their fists to settle everything. Ding! Congratulations, host, for completing the hidden mission, War of Words. You have received 50 contribution points. Ding! Contribution points, 127500. As expected, hidden missions were mostly related to the forward idiom. The Star Moon Pavilion was silent, and all the sect leaders were silent. At the start, they had prepared many lines to criticize Jun Changshao, but when they saw how ruthless he was, they did not dare to say anything. No one wants to speak. Jun Changshao stood up, walked to the big round table, and placed a piece of paper on the table, saying, Then let me say it. From today onwards, Iron Bone Clan will leave the 100 Sect Alliance. On the paper, it was written that Iron Bone Clan would leave the 100 Sect Alliance, and it was even stamped with the sect leader's seal. Alliance leader Qin said angrily, Jun Changshao, the alliance is not an inn. You can't stay and leave as you wish. Jun Changshao shrugged, saying, Iron Bone does not want to be associated with an organization that is afraid of offending the Sacred Spring sect and colluding with other sects to target their own members. Pa! Alliance leader Qin slammed the table and stood up. Clang! Clang! Li Qingyang, Su Xiaoma, and Xiao Ziji drew their swords and walked in front of the sect leader, forming a defensive stance. What's wrong? Jun Changshao grinned. Does Alliance leader Qin want to make a move? Qin Haoran naturally did not dare to make a move. After all, this was Green Sun City, Xie Guankuan's territory. He suppressed his anger and announced, from today onwards, Iron Bone will be removed from the 100 Sect Alliance. If a member were to leave, it would be embarrassing. Thus, he took the initiative to remove his name from the alliance, at least he could save some face. Jun Changshao did not mind, saying indifferently, as long as I have nothing to do with you bunch of idiots, it's up to alliance leader Qin to decide whether to leave or be removed from the alliance. With that, he turned and left. Iron Bone disciples sheathed their swords and followed the sect leader. Alliance leader Qin and the 30 over sect elders could only watch as that guy walked down the stairs. Pa, the sound system turned on, and he sang, "Don't look at me as a sheep. The green grass has become more fragrant because of me, the sky has become more blue because of me." After Jun Changshao left, the Long Blade clan leader slammed the table and said angrily, "This guy is too arrogant. Iron Bone is the first sect that dares to leave the alliance since its establishment. It's good for them to leave. If the Sacred Spring sect comes to question us, they won't implicate us." Makes sense, makes sense. The sect leaders who were originally angry were calmed down by the sect leader's words. The Long Blade clan leader said, "Alliance leader Qin, since Iron Bone is not a member of the alliance, does that mean they won't have any privileges in the future?" Alliance leader Qin stood up and walked down the stairs, saying, "Those who are not members of the alliance have no privileges." The Long Blade Gate's patriarch understood. He quickly got up and walked towards the broken window, shouting at Jun Changshao, "Patriarch Jun, please wait." "What's the matter?" Jun Changshao stopped and asked. The Long Blade clan leader sneered, cupping his fists and said, "Your sect's disciples have taken the top 4 spots in the martial arts competition, which means sect leader Jun is extraordinary. Today, I would like to learn from you. Do you have time? You can't outtalk me, so you want to fight me?" Jun Changshao turned around and took a puff of his cigar. He smiled and said, "I'm free." Chapter 89. In front of the grievance stage, Jun Changshao and the sect leader of the Long Blade faction walked over. For a moment, the martial artists in Qingyang City poured in from the streets and whispered to each other. Sect leader Shen is a 9th grade martial disciple. Can sect leader Jun beat him? When the 100 sects recruited disciples, sect leader Jun was only at the 4th or 5th stage of the Meridian Opening Realm. Didn't he defeat Elder Wei who was at the 12th stage? A 9th grade martial disciple's strength is more than 10,000 pounds. A 12th stage Meridian Opening Realm martial artist is no match for him. That makes sense. After a round of discussion, many martial artists were optimistic about the sect leader of the Long Blade faction. The leaders of the various sects also came to watch the battle. They supported sect leader Shen without hesitation and even hoped to beat the arrogant Jun Changshao on the grievance stage. Alliance leader Qin didn't leave. He stood far away from the grievance stage and watched. On the 4th floor, Xie Guankuan stood with his hands behind his back and said in confusion, "That guy is not stupid. Why did he accept Shintong's challenge?" From his tone and eyes, it was obvious that he didn't think Jun Changshao would win. It was normal. The Long Blade faction was an 8th grade faction and its sect leader was a 9-star martial disciple. He was considered a good master in Qingyang County. What about Jun Changshao? Many people thought that even if he could kill Wei Yishi, he was only a 3rd grade martial disciple. Sect leader Li Qingyang whispered, "It's a bit tricky." Jun Changshao put away the electronic cigar and said indifferently, "Remember Qingyang. In my eyes, there are no tricky opponents, only weak ones." With that, he stepped onto the grievance stage. Ding! Side quest triggered. Jun Changshao steadied himself and opened the system data panel. The side quest was defeat the sect leader of the Long Blade faction, Shintong-01, elite mission. Shintong, why wasn't he called Yuan Tong? Jun Changxiao's eyes lit up with excitement when he saw that he had triggered a side quest, and an elite one at that. What did he lack the most? Contribution points. Sect leader Shin jumped onto the grievance stage and said indifferently, Sect leader Jun, shall we compete with fists or weapons? Whatever, Jun Changxiao said. Clan Master Shin said, the Long Saber clan is famous for our sabers, but I won't take advantage of Clan Master Jun. Let's settle this with our fists. Sure. Jun Changxiao had no objections. He thought to himself, every time a martial disciple increases by 1 rank, the increase in strength is around 1,000-2,000 jin. Taking into account that he increases by 1,500 jin per rank, plus his meridian opening and 9th rank martial disciple cultivation, his strength should not exceed 15,000. The system replied, this person's strength is around 14,000, Jun Changxiao was stunned. You can tell. Yes. Why didn't you say so earlier? You made me wait here. You didn't ask. Jun Changxiao was speechless for a while, but he also thought to himself, a rank 9 martial disciple only has this much strength. Taking him down won't be difficult at all. Thinking of this, he said indifferently, you may begin. Shintong. Jun Changxiao. After exchanging names, Shintong clenched his right hand and strode forward like a meteor. Immediately, visible energy ripples spread out under his feet. As expected of a rank 9 martial disciple, the spiritual energy he released alone could completely crush the participants of the sect competition. Li Qingyang's expression became serious. With the strength of the Long Saber clan's clan master, if it were him, he would definitely not be able to win. Su Xiaoma and Xiao Ziji also thought so. With their strength, they could be a rank 1 or rank 2 martial disciple, and they could also bully the clan masters of rank 9 sects. But against a martial disciple like Shintong, they could only be abused. Trash. Yi Xingqian said disdainfully. As a former peak martial emperor, he didn't put a rank 9 martial disciple in his eyes. If he still had his cultivation, he could kill him with a finger. Brother. Haven't you seen the reality? You are no longer a martial emperor who can summon wind and rain. You are just a little newbie now. Even if you have extraordinary experience, if your strength and body can't be improved, you will still be beaten black and blue. Bang! Suddenly, a loud explosion came from the grievance ring. Jun Changxiao crossed his arms and blocked Shintong's heavy punch. His body was pushed back and barely stopped at the edge. He was 1 step away from leaving the ring. It hurts. He waved his arms and his face was slightly ferocious. Clan Master Shin didn't even use his full strength, and he couldn't hold it. He is really weak. A clan master said disdainfully. But he didn't know that he was only a rank 2 martial disciple. If he went up to fight with Shintong, he would be even weaker than Jun Changxiao. He would be beaten down with 1 punch. Some people were like this. They never considered their own weakness and would always laugh at others as bystanders to increase their ridiculous sense of superiority. This guy is too weak. I have to suppress my cultivation. If he is beaten down, how can I abuse him? Shintong rushed over and poured spiritual energy into his fist, but only used half of his strength. His goal was not to win, but to beat Jun Changxiao and make him pay for his arrogance in the Star Moon Pavilion. Whoosh! The fist was swung, and the wind from the fist whistled. Jun Changxiao's slightly ugly face suddenly showed an evil smile. Shintong became vigilant. Shua! At this moment, Jun Changxiao strode over. His right palm hit Shintong's fist and pressed his arm down. Then, he poured spiritual energy into his left fist and punched. 1 rush, 1 push, 1 attack. It was extremely fast. Even though Shintong realized that something was wrong, he could no longer avoid it and could not mobilize more spiritual energy. Boom, the fist, which carried the force of 10,000 kilograms, landed heavily on Shintong's abdomen. The strong impact disturbed Shintong's muscles and meridians, causing him to bend down and open his mouth. His eyes were wide open. It hurts. Shua. Jun Changshao raised his other hand and hit Shintong's back with his elbow. Shintong's eyeballs bulged again, and he fell to the ground with a loud bang. Hiss. The spectating martial artists gasped. Sect leader Jun's 2 attacks had spiritual energy fluctuations. At first glance, it was obvious that they were powerful. If they were hit, their meridians and internal organs would definitely be shattered. The various sect leaders, who thought that sect leader Shintong was going to win, were all dumbstruck. Suddenly, they understood that Shintong's punch that almost knocked him off the stage was an act. He was deliberately showing weakness. Xie Guangquan frowned. The 2 attacks just now were about 15,000 kilograms of strength. Could it be that he has entered the 9th grade martial disciple? Jun Changshao was only a 6th grade martial disciple. His explosive strength was so high because every grade increased by 2,000 kilograms. To be exact, every grade increased according to the upper limit. The reason why he was so strong was because of Yi Jinjing and the muscle building room. Yi Xingqian also noticed it. With a serious expression, he said, "I didn't expect this guy to be so strong. I'm afraid it will take me some time to catch up." Wah! Shintong, who was lying on the ground, spat out a mouthful of blood. His face instantly turned pale. When he was attacked, he only used 50% of his spiritual energy. After taking 2 violent blows from Jun Changshao, his meridians and internal organs must have been severely damaged. Jun Changshao squatted down and said apologetically, "Sect leader Shen, I'm sorry. I was a little too harsh." "You, Shua." As soon as he opened his mouth to speak, Jun Changshao grabbed him by the leg and dragged him to the edge of the stage. Then, with a whoosh, he was thrown out. Plop! Shintong fell to the ground with his limbs on the ground. He could not support himself and fainted on the spot. Ding! Defeat the sect leader of Long Blade Sect 11, Elite Mission. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the side mission. You have received 50 sect contribution points. Ding! Sect contribution points, 177500. After completing a hidden mission and an elite mission, he easily earned 100 contribution points. Jun Changshao looked at the various sect leaders in a good mood and said in a provocative tone, "Who else wants to come up and spar?" P.S. The strongest sect system has been updated. It is no longer separated to make it easier for readers to read. Chapter 90. Is there anyone else who wants to spar? When Jun Changshao said this, his eyes were filled with disdain and provocation. The various sect leaders below the stage were instantly enraged. They were all experienced sect leaders, who would be able to take it. But they had to remain calm and restrain themselves. Even the 9th grade martial disciple Shintong was beaten unconscious by him. If they went up, wouldn't they be looking for trouble? The various sect leaders looked at each other angrily, but no one dared to go up. Looking at the group of sect leaders who were furious yet helpless, Jun Changshao shrugged and said, "So this is the 100 Sect Alliance. It's only a so-so." From afar, Alliance leader Qin's eyes were cold as he walked over. He had the urge to spar with Su Mo, sect leader Jun. Suddenly, Xie Guangquan's voice came from behind. He walked over and smiled, "You defeated sect leader Shen in 2 moves. Your strength is extraordinary. You have opened my eyes." Jun Changshao cupped his hands and said, "Thank you, City Lord, for your praise." Xie Guangquan looked at Qin Haoran and smiled, "Alliance leader Qin, are you planning to spar with a youngster like sect leader Jun?" If sect leader Jun was the only one who was fine, why did he have to add a youngster? This made Alliance leader Qin understand that Xie Guangquan was telling him not to bully a junior. Xie Guankuan, you are so scheming. Alliance leader Qin said indifferently, as a martial master, I will naturally not spar with a junior. City Lord Xie is thinking too much. Martial master? Jun Changshao thought to himself, this is a little tricky. City Lord Xie smiled, since all of you from the 100 Sect Alliance are here, the meeting must have ended. Let's go, I will be the host and treat all of you to a feast. Alliance leader Qin cupped his hands and said indifferently, I still have matters to attend to, I will take my leave first. With that, he waved his sleeves and left. From his back view, he looked normal, but he was actually holding back his anger. City Lord Xie, my sect still has matters to attend to, we will not trouble you. Goodbye, goodbye. The various sect leaders would not freeload at the city lord's mansion, so they quickly found excuses to leave. When they came, they were all arrogant, but when they left, they were a little dejected. How could he not be dejected? Before the meeting started, he had wanted to drown Jun Changshao with his saliva. In the end, he was rendered speechless. A sect leader vomited blood, another sect leader was seriously injured, and the alliance leader and the other sect leaders left in a huff. This alliance meeting could be described as a complete failure. Jun Changshao jumped down from the grievance stage and cupped his hands. Thank you, City Lord, for coming. Otherwise, Alliance Master Qin would have gone up the stage to spar with Jun. City Lord Xie shook his head and said, Sect Leader Jun, you shouldn't be so competitive. Otherwise, you might run into a nail one day. Jun Changshao said, Iron Bone's motto is to keep a low profile. As long as others don't provoke me, I won't provoke others. Li Qingyang and the others, who had already gotten used to the changes in their mission, did not show any changes in their expressions. City Lord Xie smiled and said, this time, Alliance Master Qin left angrily. I'm afraid it will be very difficult for you, Iron Bone, to survive in the alliance. Jun Changshao said, my sect has already left the alliance. City Lord Xie was stunned. He raised his thumb and said, since the establishment of the 100 Sect Alliance, all the sects have been fighting to get in. Sect Leader Jun, you've taken the initiative to leave. You're very courageous. Jun Changshao said indifferently, they're just a bunch of mobs. My iron bone will only harm our sect's reputation if we join them. Hearing this, the cultivators in the distance only had one thought in their minds. Sect Leader Jun is really amazing. City Lord Xie originally wanted to invite Jun Changshao to the City Lord residence as a guest, but was rejected. He brought his disciples to the Li family so that Li Qingyang could catch up with his father. Seeing Sect Leader Jun defeat the Long Blade Sect Leader, the Li family leader was both shocked and happy. He hurriedly prepared a banquet. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Jun Changshao left the Li family leader alone and went to the market to look for medicinal ingredients that could be used to concoct pills. There were 4 types of medicinal ingredients in the medicine refinery pavilion. Apart from the beginner healing pill that was easy to find, the rest were relatively rare. After visiting a few shops, he only managed to gather 2 sets of beginner body shaping pill. As for the qi gathering pill and qi revolving pill, he didn't even have one set. Sigh. Jun Changshao sighed, although the medicine refinery pavilion can concoct pills quickly, without medicinal ingredients, it's like a housewife can't cook without rice. The system said, host, you can grow them yourself. Jun Changshao rolled his eyes and said, let's just talk about the 100-year-old ginseng used for the qi condensation pill. Even if I could grow it, I wouldn't be able to complete the main quest by the time it matures. The system said, there are items in the merchant shop that can speed up the growth of medicinal ingredients. It's up to host's luck to get them. Jun Changshao was speechless. Can't you be more straightforward and just show them to me? Why do you have to show them to me? The system said, the merchant shop's refresh function is to prevent host from relying too much on the system. If you want to get the items you need, you have to earn contribution points to refresh them. Jun Changshao was speechless. This is similar to a lottery. It's cheating me of my contribution points. The system said, that's why host has to earn contribution points. Because if contribution points are used up, you won't even have the right to draw a lottery. Alright. Jun Changshao didn't argue with it and continued to search for medicinal ingredients in the medicine refinery pavilion. When he returned to the Li family, he obtained 4 sets of healing pills, 3 sets of body-shaping pills, 1 set of qi-gathering pills, and 0 qi-revolving pills. Whether or not a disciple could quickly become stronger depended on the pills of the medicine refinery pavilion. It wouldn't do if he didn't have the ingredients. Sect Master Jun, is there something on your mind? As soon as he returned to the Li family, Patriarch Li saw his gloomy face and came over to ask. Jun Changshao said, I've been researching Pill Dao recently and am lacking some medicinal ingredients. I searched the city for half a day but couldn't find what I need. Patriarch Li said in surprise, Sect Master Jun knows Pill Dao. Blacksmiths, alchemists, formation masters, and spirit masters of the falling star continent were the most respected. Alchemists and spirit masters were especially revered. Pills and spirit stones were of great help to one's cultivation. Many sects had alchemists and spirit masters who were even treated as guests of honor and enjoyed special treatment and privileges. I know a little, Jun Changshao replied. Patriarch Li's gaze became even more surprised. This Iron Bone sect master was indeed not simple. His son becoming his disciple was definitely the best choice. Sect Master Jun, although Qingyang City is the capital city of Qingyang County, it's relatively weak in terms of medicinal ingredients. If you want to buy medicinal ingredients, you'll have to go to Huyang City. Huyang City. Jun Changshao thought of the AI family and his eyes lit up. The AI family has been in the business of medicinal pills for generations. Perhaps they have the medicinal ingredients to refine their own pills. The next day, Jun Changshao bid farewell to Patriarch Li and returned to Iron Bone with his 4 disciples. However, when he returned, he found a man wearing a bamboo hat and rough clothes standing in front of the red lacquered door. He held a saber and snored rhythmically. It's him again. Who? Wandering Saber Master, Ma Yongning. Su Xiaoma walked over and waved his hand in front of him. Sect Master, this guy fell asleep standing up again. Jun Changshao said, Zue Ji, carry him outside. Don't block the door here. Yes. Xiao Ziji walked over and carried Ma Yongning. The other party seemed to be really sleepy. When he was carried away, he was still snoring. Shua. Xiao Ziji placed Ma Yongning at the entrance of the stone stairs and turned to leave. Little did he know that he had placed Ma Yongning at the bottom of the stairs, half of his feet dangling in the air. Now he was sleeping like a rock. When he woke up and stretched or yawned, he would definitely lose his center of gravity. Then, P.S., author's words can't be displayed on QQ. I won't mention the names of the readers who tipped me in the past few days. I'll thank you one by one here. Now I have 8,000 plus votes. I hope it will break 9,000 on the last day of the weekend. Iron Bone Group, 702705427. The shy author is waiting for you to flirt with him. Chapter 91. After returning to the Iron Bone, Jun Changshao had been thinking about how to obtain a large amount of herbs to refine the 4 types of pills. Needless to say, the more the better. Even if he couldn't use them, he could sell them and make a lot of money. The body-shaping pill and the qi-gathering pill strengthened the body and increased the speed of cultivation. They were essential items for martial artists. Naturally, the more the better. The qi-revolving pill was even more amazing. With it, disciples could open 12 meridians and become a martial disciple easily. If he had all 4 types of pills and had an inexhaustible supply, he would be invincible and could quickly break through. No. Jun Changshao said, I have to find the herbs as soon as possible. Even if I can't mass-produce them, I should at least refine 100 pills each. Huyang City, I have to go. He didn't leave immediately. Instead, he opened the alchemy pavilion and refined 4 sets of healing pills, 3 sets of body-shaping pills, and 1 set of chi-gathering pills. The body-shaping pill can only be used once per person. Any more and it won't have any effect. I'll give it to Qianqian and Qingyang first. There were 100 disciples in the iron bone. Jun Changshao couldn't take care of all of them at the moment, so he could only give it to a few disciples who had joined earlier. Sect leader, what is this? Li Qingyang asked with a puzzled expression as he held the grape-sized body-shaping pill in his hands. Jun Changshao said, this is a body-shaping pill. After taking it, it can strengthen the meridians and body. The effect is very obvious. Li Qingyang's eyes widened. From what he knew, strengthening the body mostly depended on mental cultivation and hard work. It was hard to believe that a pill could change the body. He opened his mouth and swallowed it. The pill melted as soon as it entered his mouth. The medicinal juice merged into his body and instantly formed a special energy that filled his body. Soon, Li Qingyang could clearly feel that his blood, meridians, and every inch of his skin were transforming. His body's strength was constantly increasing. After the transformation, he went to the training room and punched the testing machine. It showed that his strength was 3,000 jin. This was the purest physical strength without using spiritual power. The previous test showed that his strength was 2,500 jin. After taking the body-shaping pill, it directly increased by 500 jin. Unbelievable! Li Qingyang exclaimed. Su Xiaoma also came for the test after taking it. Now that he was at the 12th stage of the meridian opening realm, he was able to punch out 2,000 kilograms without using any spirit energy, which was 200 kilograms more than before. Boom! Su Xiaoma kicked him again with a force of 2,500 pounds. Sure enough, after playing football for a while, his leg strength and athlete's foot chi had improved greatly, far surpassing the strength of his fists. A normal 12th stage meridian opening realm cultivator's strength was around 1,500. Su Xiaoma's aptitude wasn't high, so he could break through to 2,000 jin. This meant that the molding pill and the molding machine were very useful. Lu Qianqian also took the body-shaping pill. Although she was shocked, she didn't show it and didn't test her strength in front of the machine. She was really a cold and arrogant young lady. Qingyang. Jun Changshao ordered, let the disciples enter the molding room and the spirit energy formation in batches to achieve a balanced increase in strength, yes. You are my little apple. Just like the most beautiful clouds in the sky. Spring came again and flowers bloomed on the hillside. You will reap what you sow. Early in the morning, the sound system played the divine song, Little Apple. Under the dynamic rhythm, the iron bone disciples lined up neatly and danced to the beat. Yi Xingchen was among them. His steps were stiff and his movements were incoherent. He looked like he had nothing left to live for. After the morning exercise, the refreshed disciples either entered the molding room or the spirit energy formation under the second senior brother's arrangement and started a new day of cultivation. Jun Changshao ate in the cafeteria and planned to go to Huyang City. Suddenly, he heard a boom, and the red door flew past him and shattered on the training field. Friendly reminder, the Sect protection formation may not be activated every day. My door, thud. Ma Yongning strode over. His face was bruised and his body was covered in dust. He roared, who carried me away? Damn it! Jun Changshao rushed over and poured his spirit energy into his fists. He rushed at the wandering swordsman and gave him a flurry of punches and kicks. Did my door offend you? You kick it every time you come. Thump, thump. At noon, on the training field, Ma Yongning, whose head was full of bumps and bruises, was waving a small hammer and repairing the red door that was split in half. Hiss. He accidentally touched his sore muscles and sucked in a breath of cold air. I'm a swordsman. How can I do such chores? Ma Yongning's eyes flashed with anger. He suddenly threw away the hammer and rushed to the door with his saber. Li Fei. Yes, senior brother. The disciple named Li Fei put down the ball and locked onto the escaping Ma Yongning. He raised his leg and shot the ball. Whoosh, Ma Yongning sensed that something was wrong. He looked back and was hit in the face by the ball. He fell backward. What a great sure-kill technique that relied on one's face to catch the ball. Su Xiaoma walked over and dragged one of his feet to the martial arts arena, saying, before the sect leader left, he said that if you don't fix the door, you can forget about leaving the Iron Bone sect. Damn it, Ma Yongning was furious, but he could only rub his face and continue to fix the door. Huyang City. Sect leader Jun stood on the main street and smelled the medicinal herbs in the air. He sighed, as expected of a medicinal herb city. As one of the 8 cities in Azure Sun County, Huyang City mainly sold pills and medicinal herbs. The AI family in the city had a long-established medicinal herb store. Jun Changshao didn't have the time to look around the unique buildings in the city. He asked the passers-by and went to the medicinal herb market. It was the right choice to come. He only went to a medicinal herb store and collected 5 sets of medicinal herbs for healing pills. There were at least 10 medicinal herb stores in the medicinal herb market. This made Jun Changshao very happy. He went from one store to another and bought all kinds of medicinal herbs for refining pills. After an hour of shopping, he concluded that there were 20 sets of healing pills, 5 sets of molding pills, 4 sets of qi-gathering pills, and 2 sets of revolving pills. Huyang City was known as the medicinal herb city in Azure Sun County. It was indeed better than Azure Sun City in terms of medicinal herbs. However, the quantity was still not enough for Jun Changshao. Therefore, he could only go to the largest medicinal herb store in the market, the AI family's medicinal herb store. Young master, do you need anything? When he entered the medicinal herb store, a quick-witted shop assistant came up to him. Jun Changshao swept his gaze over the dazzling array of shelves inside the store and said, "Call your shopkeeper over. We have a big business deal to discuss." Big business? The shop assistant hurriedly went to inform the shopkeeper in the inner courtyard. Soon, a pot-bellied middle-aged man walked out. He cupped his hands and smiled. "I am Ma Zheng, the shopkeeper of the medicinal herb store. May I know who you are?" Jun Changshao placed a medicinal herb in the basket and said with his hands behind his back, "Iron Bone Upright Sect leader." Shopkeeper Ma was shocked. "You are Jun Changshao." Looking at shopkeeper Ma's expression, sect leader Jun guessed that shopkeeper Ma must have heard about the big things he had done recently. Sigh. I am no longer an ordinary person. I can scare people when I announce my identity. Shopkeeper Ma's face darkened and he shouted, "You dare to come to my medicinal herb store after beating up my young master AI? You have guts. Men, take him down." Swoosh. Swoosh. A group of thugs rushed out from the inner courtyard and surrounded Jun Changshao. The corner of his mouth twitched as he thought to himself, this isn't right, right? Oh. Chapter 92. AI Family, Main Hall. AI Family's patriarch, AI Shanka, was discussing the recent medicinal herb business with several elders, a smile appearing on his face from time to time. AI Shanka and the other elder were also full of smiles. During this period of time, many cities and sects came to purchase medicinal herbs, business was booming, and the profits were higher than previous years, so they were naturally in a good mood. Patriarch, have you heard that Iron Bone's disciple won the sect competition? After discussing business, AI Shanka began to chat. AI Shanka took a sip of tea and said, "I heard. Third brother, you're right, Iron Bone is not simple." Second elder AI Shangfang said. AI Shanka said, "For disciples took the top 4 of the sect competition, this is unprecedented, Iron Bone can do it is not by chance. Also." He paused and said in a deep voice, "Spirit Spring sect was also destroyed by Iron Bone's sect leader." What? AI Shanka and AI Shangfang were shocked. The two of them had been in seclusion for the past few days, and the news stopped at Iron Bone's victory. AI Shunka said that Jun Changshao went to Spirit Spring Mountain alone, killed Wei Yishi, Wei Yinu, and more than 30 disciples, and even set fire to Spirit Spring Sect. That's too reckless. AI Shengfeng said with his eyes wide open. AI Shunka said, Spirit Spring Sect and Sacred Spring Sect are related, Iron Bone destroyed them, isn't that courting death? AI Shengfeng said, not just Sacred Spring Sect, in my opinion, the 100 Races Alliance will not let Iron Bone go. After all, the Alliance has a rule that members are not allowed to destroy sections. AI Shunka said, yesterday, Alliance Master Qin held an Alliance meeting at Star Moon Pavilion. They should be discussing how to punish Iron Bone. Puchi, Puchi. A carrier pigeon flew over and landed on the tea table with a small bamboo tube tied to its leg. AI Shunka took it down and said, news from Green Sun City. When he opened it, his expression froze, and his eyes were filled with shock. Patriarch, what's wrong? AI Shengfeng asked. AI Sheng tossed the letter over, and AI Sheng came over as well. After the two of them read the letter, a look of surprise appeared on their faces. There were only a few paragraphs in the letter, and the content was as follows. The leader of the Iron Bone Sect severely injured the leader of the Long Blade Sect with 2 moves. 2 moves to heavily injure a 9th-grade martial disciple, Shintong. AI Shengfeng was startled. Could that Iron Bone Sect leader be a martial master? AI Shunka recalled the scene when he fought with Jun Changshao and said with a grave expression, no wonder he's so fast. He's a martial master. The speed of the afterimage was still imprinted in his mind. Every time he thought about it, he would feel a chill run down his spine. After all, if he had any killing intent at that time, he would have died many times over. AI Shang was silent for a moment before he said, this Iron Bone is no small matter. At first, when Ishank was defeated, he was still furious. He almost couldn't stop him and took his men to Iron Bone to take revenge. What about now? His attitude had changed. Annihilating the Spirit Spring Sect and severely injuring the leader of the Long Blade Sect meant that Jun Changshao was not simple. The AI family was originally a business, and they valued harmony. Iron Bone's recent performance was amazing, so they naturally had to consider carefully. AI Shang said, Patriarch, for such a sect, it's best if we can befriend them. If we can't make enemies. Makes sense. AI Shang agreed. Not good. At this moment, a servant rushed in and said in a panic, Sect leader, elders, someone is causing trouble in the medicine shop. AI Shang and AI Shang stood up, their eyes filled with anger. The AI family had been in Huyang City for hundreds of years, and this was the first time someone dared to cause trouble in the medicine shop. AI Shang asked in a low voice, what happened? The servant said anxiously, a guy who called himself the leader of the Iron Bone Sect, he beat up our guards. What? AI Shang and AI Shang opened their mouths. Just now they were talking about Jun Changshao, saying that they should befriend him. If they can't make enemies. Now he directly came to cause trouble in the medicine shop. This was a bit fucked. Let's go. AI Shang stood up and walked out. At the entrance of the AI family's medicine shop, a group of martial artists were gathered, sometimes pointing at the shop, sometimes discussing. Yes, it's the leader of the Iron Bone Sect. Strange, he's not in the Iron Bone Sect, why is he in Huyang City? The AI family has been in the city for hundreds of years, and no one dared to cause trouble. This Iron Bone Sect leader is really bold. If he's a coward, how can he annihilate the Spirit Spring Sect? Someone has already informed the AI family, there will be a good show to watch. They're here, the AI family's patriarch and elders are here. Someone shouted. Many cultivators turned their heads and saw the AI family's patriarch walking over with 2 elders. His expression was very serious. Swish. Swish. AI Shang and the other two walked into the medicine shop. One by one, the AI family's martial artists fell to the ground, holding their stomachs. It seemed that they were beaten to the point that they couldn't stand up. Elder AI. Suddenly, a voice came from the living room, "We meet again." Jun Changshao crossed his legs and leaned back on the chair. The shopkeeper called Ma Zheng stood beside him, covering his face. His legs and stomach were trembling violently because the azure dragon biscuit was pressed against his neck. If he moved a little, his head would be separated from his body. AI Shang's eyes darkened. His subordinates and shopkeeper were beaten to such a state, this was too much. AI Shang said in a deep voice, "Sect leader Jun, what do you mean?" Jun Changshao looked at the trembling shopkeeper and said, "I came to your shop to talk business with the AI family, but the shopkeeper ordered people to take me down, so I was forced to fight back." Hearing this, AI Shang and the other two understood. AI Shang cupped his hands and said, "Sect leader Jun, we can talk things out, please put down the saber first." If he didn't hear that the other party had seriously injured the Long Saber Sect's patriarch, he wouldn't be so kind. "That's right." Jun Changshao put down the saber and said, "If he was as polite as Elder AI, things wouldn't have turned out this way." Plop. The saber on his neck was gone. Shopkeeper Ma collapsed on the ground, cold sweat running down his forehead. The injured cultivator was carried away, and so was the frightened shopkeeper. Only Jun Changshao and the three AI family elders were left in the shop. The four of them sat in the living room, the atmosphere was solemn. AI Shang suppressed his unhappiness and said, "Sect leader Jun wants to talk business with the AI family?" "That's right." Jun Changshao said, "It's a big deal." "What kind of deal?" AI Shang was interested. Business was the most important thing in the world, that was the AI family's motto. Jun Changshao put a piece of paper on the table and said, "The herbs written here, I want as many as your AI family has." AI Shang and the two elders looked at each other and picked up the paper. There were 12 kinds of herbs written on it, some common and some rare. Sect leader Jun, he raised his head and said, "Are you sure you want as many as you have?" Jun Changshao could tell from the AI family's eyes that the AI family had a lot of the herbs he needed, so he said seriously, "That's right, I want as many as you have." AI Shang said, "Sect leader Jun, the AI family has more than 200 of the rarest flower leaves. If you buy all of them, the price will not be cheap." More than 200. Jun Changshao's heart was in turmoil. There were 3 kinds of cyclone pills. The first 2 were easy to find, but the flower leaves were hard to find. The AI family had more than 200 of them. If he bought all of them, he could refine more than 200 cyclone pills. "I want all of them," Jun Changshao said without hesitation. For kinds of herbs, he had to get them even if he had to sell everything. AI Shang pinched his fingers and narrowed his eyes. After some calculation, he said, "Sect leader Jun, if you want all of the herbs written here, you will need to pay at least 100,000 taels." 100,000 taels. Jun Changshao crossed his arms and smiled, "No problem." Chapter 93. Jun Changshao's net worth was 50,000 taels after looting the mountain bandits' treasure house and receiving the reward. Could he gather 100,000 taels? Yes, yes. After destroying the Spirit Spring sect, not counting the various treasures and martial skills, just the gold alone was worth 10,000 taels. AI Shang and AI Shang Ku, the 2 elders, were surprised. 100,000 taels was not a small amount. It was inconceivable that a 9th-rate sect could take out so much. "Master AI. Jun Changshao said, "How long will it take to transport these herbs?" AI Shang Ku thought for a moment and said, "If Master Jun needs them urgently, they can be transported here in 4 hours. "I need them urgently," Jun Changshao said. He couldn't wait to get the herbs in his hands and take out the furnace to refine pills in large quantities. AI Shangku looked at AI Shangfang and said, "Go and inform the medicine store elders to transport all the herbs Master Jun needs to the medicine store." Yes. AI Shangfang received the order and turned to leave. 4 hours was a bit long, so AI Shangku chatted casually. "Master Jun needs so many herbs, could it be that you want to refine pills?" Jun Changshao said, "Yes." The AI family was in the business of pills and herbs, so they might need them in the future. His tone was more gentle, not as arrogant and despotic as in the Moon Star Pavilion. This was Jun Changshao. He could ruthlessly destroy the Spirit Spring sect, but he could also sit down and chat with Master AI like an old friend. This was because the AI family valued harmony. If it was a martial arts family, if their subordinates were beaten in their own shop, they would have drawn their swords long ago. AI Shangku was surprised. "Is Master Jun refining pills?" "Yes." Jun Changshao said. The surprise in AI Shangku's eyes became stronger. "Master Jun's cultivation is extraordinary, and you know alchemy. You are a dragon among men." As expected of someone in the business world, his words made Jun Changshao embarrassed. He said humbly, "Jun also learned a craft. If I don't become a sect master in the future, I can still make a living." AI Shangku and AI Shangku's mouths twitched. The path of alchemy was not like that of a chef. One could learn the craft just by picking up a spoon. It depended on one's aptitude and physique. According to the statistics of the relevant departments of the Starfall continent, only 1 in 100,000 people had the aptitude for alchemy, which was quite rare. AI Shangyi said, "Since Sect Master Jun views the Tao of pills as a craft, I presume you already have a very high level of attainment in this field." "Not bad." As soon as Jun Changshao finished speaking, a thought arose in his mind. He leaned forward and clasped his fingers together. "Oh right. Patriarch AI, does your AI family accept pills?" AI Shang smiled and said, "My AI family is in the business of collecting and selling medicinal pills." The AI clan's pill workshop had branches in every city in the Azure Sun County. At least half of the pills sold in those branches were purchased from others. It could be considered as buying a brand. Jun Changshao said, "I have a kind of healing pill here. Is Patriarch AI interested in purchasing it?" Patriarch AI hesitated for a moment and said, "To be honest, Sect Master Jun, healing pills are the most common medicinal pills. Our AI family has a lot of them, so we don't have any need for them at the moment." Jun Changshao leaned back in his chair and said, "Patriarch AI, forgive me for being blunt, but your AI family's healing pills are just a pile of trash." AI Shang and AI Shang were stunned. Their eyes were filled with anger. The healing pills they sold had always been of high quality. It was definitely unacceptable for them to be described as trash. Jun Changshao took out a beginner healing pill and placed it on the table. "Patriarch AI, you can take a look at the healing pill I refined." AI Shang said indifferently, "Sect Master Jun, there's nothing special about your pill." As a veteran who had been dealing with medicinal pills for many years, the quality of medicinal pills could be roughly determined with a single glance. The beginner healing pill was indeed not outstanding. Its color was also slightly dull. When he took it out to save Li Qingyang, Lu Qianqian thought it was an ordinary medicine. Jun Changshao said, "Patriarch AI, please take a closer look." AI Shang and AI Shang looked at each other. They pinched the healing pill and released spiritual energy to envelop it. They shook their heads and said, "Sect Master Jun, this is indeed very ordinary. It's like a beginner's healing pill. Generations of alchemists, your AI family really doesn't know what's good for them. How about this?" Jun Changshao said, "Patriarch AI can invite the injured shopkeeper Ma to verify the effects of my healing pill." AI Shang glanced at AI Shang. The latter nodded and walked out of the hall. Soon, he brought Ma Jing over. Shua. Suddenly, Jun Changshao rushed over. He poured spiritual energy into his fist and fiercely punched shopkeeper Ma's big belly, causing it to cave in. Pooh! Shopkeeper Ma's eyes suddenly widened and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Jun Changshao circled behind him and threw him over his shoulder to the ground. Then, he punched him twice. Duh. The whole process happened very quickly. When shopkeeper Ma was half dead on the ground, Ai Shang stood up angrily and shouted, Jun Changshao, you've gone too far. For the sake of business, he could ignore what happened just now. But now, he attacked shopkeeper Ma and beat him up like this. Even a clay figurine would be angry. Jun Changshao returned to his seat and held his face with one hand. He made a gesture and said, Shopkeeper Ma's injuries can be considered serious. Patriarch Ai, please try the healing pill. If it can't cure him immediately, Jun is willing to destroy his meridians. In order to promote his healing pill, he beat someone up violently and then made a bet to commit suicide. This was definitely a double whammy. Cure him immediately. Ai Shang said coldly, Sect Master Jun, do you think this healing pill is an immortal pill? Saying that, he walked in front of shopkeeper Ma and threw a beginner healing pill into his mouth. After all, the attack just now was too heavy. If he didn't treat him quickly, his life would be in danger. Ai Shang also took out his own healing pill. However, before he could pour out the healing pill, the half-dead shopkeeper Ma suddenly stood up from the ground. Dang dang dang. Ai Shang and Ai Shang retreated in shock. Their faces were full of shock. Shopkeeper Ma, who was beaten half-dead by Jun Changshao, stood up straight. It was simply too shocking. Shopkeeper Ma raised his hands and said with a dumbfounded face, my injuries are healed. Ai Shang and Ai Shang's eyes gradually widened. Jun Changshao's attack just now was very violent. This guy was definitely seriously injured. Even if he was treated in time, he couldn't avoid being bedridden for 3 months. After taking a seemingly ordinary healing pill, he actually stood up and could even speak. What the hell? Or was it a joke? Ai Shang was after all, experienced in life. He stepped forward and grabbed shopkeeper Ma's wrist. He poured his spiritual energy into it and saw that the meridians in his body were intact. He was instantly petrified. Ai Shang also rushed over and grabbed shopkeeper Ma's other hand. He saw that the other party didn't have any internal injuries. His mind went blank and he was stunned on the spot. Such serious injuries healed so quickly. This wasn't a healing pill, this was an immortal pill. Ai Shang and Ai Shang, as well as shopkeeper Ma, were dumbfounded. They stood there like 3 art sculptures. Jun Changshao crossed his arms and said with a smile, Master Ai, how is the effect of Jun's healing pill? Ai Shang came back to his senses and hurriedly leaned over. He placed his hands on the table and said with a serious expression, Sect Master Jun, my Ai family will buy as many of these healing pills as you have. Seriously injured people would recover immediately after taking it. The healing pill's effect was simply terrifying. Any normal businessman would know that once it was sold, it would cause a huge commotion. Jun Changshao smiled, price? Sect Master Jun, open it yourself. Ai Shang said. Jun Changshao rubbed his chin. After thinking for a while, he said, 10,000 taels for 1 pill. Okay. Ai Shang agreed without any hesitation. Jun Changshao's mouth twitched. He was secretly annoyed, did I ask for too little? P.S. I'm Old Book and the new book will be updated together. The main character of Old Book is Yun Fei Yang. If the main character of the new book suddenly changed his name, it must be a mistake. Everyone can leave a message to remind me and I will correct it. Chapter 94. It was common for cultivators in the Falling Star continent to be injured. If one wasn't injured and didn't have the experience of being bedridden for half a month, they would be too embarrassed to greet their peers. Therefore, Jun Changxiao's healing pill could instantly heal a heavily injured person. It could only be described as heaven-defying. As the AI clan's patriarch, who had been in the pill business for many years, with his keen sense of smell, he could instantly smell the high value and profit of this pill. Not to mention 10,000, he wouldn't hesitate even if it was 50,000. Jun Changxiao was very depressed, but he couldn't change the price he offered, so he said, AI family head, this king has refined 10 of these healing pills. Shopkeeper Ma has already taken one, so there are still 9 left. If you want all of them, then I'll give you 100,000 taels. He still had 20 beginner-grade healing pills. If he didn't sell all of them, he could keep some for himself and raise the price next time. As for the 10 healing pills, it was fine if he sold them less. He would just treat it as a test run. AI Shang was on the verge of collapse. If he knew from the start that the healing pill was heaven-defying, he definitely wouldn't have given it to Ma Zheng. After all, it could be sold at a sky-high price. Sure. Patriarch AI said straightforwardly, my AI clan is willing to pay 100,000 for these 9 pills. Jun Changxiao placed the 9 healing pills on the table and said, Patriarch AI, do you want to pay with banknotes or medicinal herbs? AI Shang said, my AI clan has always done business according to the rules. We won't pay with goods. As he spoke, he took out a thick stack of banknotes from his interspatial ring. It was exactly 100,000. Damn it. Bringing so much money out, isn't the AI clan's patriarch afraid of being robbed? Jun Changxiao didn't take back the banknotes and said, Patriarch AI, although the healing pill can heal injuries, my alchemy skills are limited. It's only suitable for martial disciples and meridian opening realm cultivators. AI Shang's face changed slightly. He was still thinking of buying the healing pill and increasing the publicity to let the entire Azure Sun County know about it. If it was only suitable for meridian opening realm cultivators and martial disciples, the limitations would be too great. It can heal injuries quickly. Even if it's only suitable for meridian opening realm cultivators and martial disciples, it's still terrifying. AI Shang thought for a moment and said, Shang Ku, bring the contract. Yes. AI Shangke took out a transaction contract. As expected of a professional business family, they even had to sign and make a mark. Sect Master Jun, AI Shang narrowed his eyes and said seriously, I hope that these 9 pills will have the same effect as the previous one. He was worried that he would be cheated. Jun Changxiao leaned over and said, don't worry, Patriarch AI. Since I'm here to sell medicinal pills, I won't cheat. AI Shang also believed that the leader of a sect would not do such a thing. The two of them signed their names and pressed their fingerprints, completing the transaction. Only then did Jun Changxiao unceremoniously store the 100,000 silver notes into his spatial ring. He had spent several hundred taels on the ingredients for the 10 healing pills, and in the end, he had sold them for 100,000 taels. The profit was terrifying. Jun Changxiao began to fantasize. With enough medicinal ingredients, he could refine more healing pills and sell them. Then, he would spend a lot of money to expand the Iron Bone Factory and build it as grand as the Imperial Palace. After the medicinal pill business was settled, the two of them began to chat enthusiastically. More than 2 hours later, AI Shangfang walked into the shop and said, Family head, the herbs sect head Jun requested have been prepared. As he spoke, he put down a few spatial rings. AI Shang stretched out his hand and said with a smile, Sect head Jun, please check the goods. This kind of spatial ring did not need to recognize the owner. Anyone could peek into it. Jun Changxiao entered the rings one by one until he counted the herbs inside. Then, he said, the quality of the herbs is not bad. Family head AI, please give me a price. Sect head Jun, these herbs are a total of 100 and 500 taels. AI Shang said. AI Shang narrowed his eyes and said, Sect head Jun, just give me a total. Schwa. Jun Changshao waved his hand lightly and 10,000 taels of gold piled up like a small mountain in the living room. Although gold was more valuable than silver, silver and banknotes were still the main currency in the Falling Star continent. Jun Changshao did not use the 100,000 taels of banknotes he just received. He directly paid the gold because he did not want to go to the bank to exchange for other items. TSK, TSK. Family head AI raised his thumb and said, 10,000 taels of gold, Sect head Jun is really generous. As he spoke, he gave AI Shang a look. The other party took out another contract. It was obvious that this medicinal pill business had to be signed and stamped. Very proper, very particular. Jun Changshao signed his name and stamped it. When family head AI also stamped his name, a crisp system notification sounded in his ears, ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the hidden mission, scattering thousands of gold. You have gained 20 contribution points. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the hidden mission, scattering thousands of gold. You have gained 50 contribution points. Ding. Sect contribution points. 245500. It can't be, right? Spending gold is also a hidden mission. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the hidden mission, scattering thousands of gold. You have triggered the hidden reward. The right to purchase the aptitude transformation liquid has been transferred to the purchased items section. There is a hidden reward. Jun Changshao hurriedly opened the system store and clicked on the purchased items section. He saw that the originally blank section had an additional aptitude transformation liquid. He clicked on the details and the content was item, aptitude transformation liquid. Effect, can transform one's aptitude and raise it by 1 level. Note, can only be used by middle-grade aptitude users. Effectiveness, lifetime. Price, 50 contribution points. Seeing that the effect was for middle-grade aptitude users, Jun Changshao suddenly laughed loudly, scaring the 3 higher-ups of the AI family. What is going on? While the 3 of them were dumbfounded, Jun Changshao cupped his fists and said, Master AI, I will take my leave first. Please. AI Shangyao and the 2 elders hurriedly sent him off. He's out, he's out. Outside the medicine store, the onlookers were very active. They had waited for 4 hours to see how the AI family would deal with the trouble caused by the Iron Bone Sect Master. However, when they saw the AI family master and the 2 elders accompanying Jun Changshao out with a smile, the onlookers' expressions froze. He came to the store to cause trouble, and the owner sent him off with a smile. This is not right. Goodbye, Master AI. Have a safe journey, Sect Master Jun. Under the gaze of the onlookers, Jun Changshao left. Ding. Host has spent 50 contribution points and obtained Aptitude Transformation Liquid X1. It has been transferred to the space ring. Ding. Sect contribution points, 195500. After leaving the city, Jun Changshao bought the Aptitude Transformation Liquid and drank it all. Ding. Host has used Aptitude Transformation Liquid X1. Transforming Spiritual Root Aptitude. Spiritual Root Aptitude Transformation completed. Host has successfully broken through to 7th grade Martial Disciple. After the middle grade spiritual root was upgraded to a high grade spiritual root, Jun Changshao's cultivation was driven by it and rose to another level. With the upgrade of the spiritual root, he had a higher compatibility with the spiritual qi in the world. When he walked on the road, he could feel the spiritual qi following him like a shadow. At that moment, Jun Changshao finally understood why Li Qingyang, who had a high-grade spiritual root, was called a rare genius. Awesome! What was even more awesome was that when he returned to the sect, he opened the alchemy pavilion. Because the herbs were stored in the space ring, the 4 types of elixirs were all in the state of being able to be refined. Chapter 95. Jun Changshao spent 100,000 taels to buy the materials needed to refine pills. More than 800 sets of beginner healing pills. More than 400 sets of beginner shaping pills and chi gathering pills. More than 200 sets of chi whirling pills. Most of the 100,000 taels were spent on the last 3 types of pills. Healing pills took up a smaller proportion. Refine. Jun Changshao did not return to the sect. He pressed the button to refine beginner healing pills. Ding! Ding! A crisp sound rang out beside his ear, and one pill after another appeared in the space ring like a glass ball. In a short time, more than 800 beginner healing pills were refined. If it were an experienced alchemist, it would take at least a few months to refine even the most common healing pills. Jun Changshao said, "This alchemy pavilion is too powerful." After the sect was upgraded to level 2, he was initially concerned about the various upper limits. In fact, the one that was truly powerful was the alchemy pavilion. Jun Changshao was now looking forward to the smithing pavilion after upgrading the sect to level 3. With the alchemy pavilion as a template, he guessed that the smithing pavilion should also have the function of forging weapons with one button. Pills. Weapons. They were crucial to the martial artists of the Falling Star continent. If they had both, how could they not be strong? Thinking about it was just thinking. He was still too far away from upgrading the sect to level 3. After all, if the number of people was not enough, he could not trigger the sect mission and it would be difficult to obtain achievement value. Continue refining pills. Jun Changshao was refining pills as he hurried on his way. A beautiful ding-ding-ding sound rang in his ears. The pills were also constantly gathering in the spatial ring. However, there was a small problem. When refining beginner shaping pills in large quantities, the speed was obviously slower than refining healing pills. The system said, although the alchemy pavilion can refine pills as a whole, if the level of the pills is higher, it will take a longer time. I see. Jun Changshao did not mind. After all, it was not that much slower. Half an hour later, all 400 sets of body shaping pills were out of the furnace. As for refining the 400 sets of chi gathering pills, it took an hour. After refining the 3 types of pills, he started refining the most important one, the chi whirling pills. In the end, he rushed for 2 hours and returned to the iron bone. Only then did he finish refining all 200 points. It's a bit slow, Jun Changshao murmured. There were more than 1,800 pills in total, and with the help of the pill apothecary pavilion, Zhang Xian had traveled all the way from Huyang City to Iron Bone City in less than 4 hours. Yet, that fellow actually had the cheek to complain that it was too slow. Sect leader, the door has been fixed. What do you think? Su Xiaoma pointed at the red-painted door erected on the martial arts field as soon as he entered the sect. It's all right. Jun Changshao asked, "Where's that guy?" "He's locked in a cell," Su Xiaoma said. The corner of Jun Changshao's mouth twitched. "You locked him up with 2 assassins. What if a fight breaks out?" "Sect master, don't worry. The 3 of them are very honest." Su Xiaoma grinned. "Really?" Jun Changshao got up and went to the prison. Through the gap between the door and window, he saw Ma Yongning leaning against the wall, hugging a knife and looking at the 2 assassins. The atmosphere was slightly solemn. After a while, Ma Yongning said, "You 2 have been staring at me for a long time. Do you want to learn from each other?" "Gold-ranked assassin, clang." Ma Yongning drew his knife and said in a deep voice, "I've been in the martial arts world for many years. What kind of battle have I not seen? Don't think that you can scare me by wearing black. Come on. Let's compete." Gold-ranked assassin and assassin looked at each other and thought, is there something wrong with this fellow's brain? "Sect leader, what should we do with them?" Su Xiaoma asked. Jun Changshao turned around and said, "Lock Ma Yongning up for a few days and release him. As for the 2 assassins, keep them locked up." "Yes." Jun Changshao went to the training room and trained there for 4 hours. Then, he took a shower and returned to his residence. People from the AI family. Sitting in the study, he murmured, they should start planning how to advertise the beginner healing pill. Yes. AI Shang and the senior members of the AI family were discussing how to sell the few healing pills and maximize their profits. Phew. Jun Changshao rested his head on his hands and said, I forgot to tell them not to tell outsiders that I refined the pills. AI Shang was a shrewd businessman. Without his permission, he would never reveal the pills to others. After all, he was afraid that his peers would cut him off. Tomorrow, call the disciples over and distribute the pills to them. Let them have one each. Jun Changshao had spent so much money to refine so many pills. He wanted his disciples to become stronger. Otherwise, how could they become the strongest sect in 100 years? He stayed in the study for a while. Then, he returned to his bedroom and sat cross-legged on the bed. He started to operate the I Jin Jing and began to absorb the spiritual power of heaven and earth. He had a high-grade spiritual root. His absorption and refinement of spiritual power was much faster. The benefit of this was that his Dantian's chi vortex could gather energy at a faster rate. At this time, even if he didn't rely on the system's upgrade function, his progress wouldn't be slower than Li Qingyang's. After several transformations of his spiritual root, Master Jun could be considered to have broken away from his mortal roots. He had gloriously become a genius. This was just the beginning. Jun Changxiao's goal was a divine spiritual root. After cultivating for 2 hours, it was already late at night. Jun Changxiao opened the attribute panel and clicked on the beginner's shop. Rows of products appeared. After browsing through them, he didn't find anything useful. He decisively refreshed. Ding! Sect achievement value, 185500. There were many new products. When Jun Changxiao looked through them one by one, he suddenly stood up with a whoosh. His eyes were filled with excitement. On the second last row, the last item was a modified QBU-88 sniper rifle. Gun. Sniper rifle. A domestically produced sniper rifle. Jun Changxiao was extremely excited. He said in disbelief, I got a sniper rifle. I got a sniper rifle. Ah ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. The laughter broke the silence of the night. The disciples who were sleeping soundly woke up. They were puzzled and asked, where did that goose cry come from? The system couldn't help but ridicule, it only has a 0.1% chance. The host's luck is dog shit. He was bored and directly got a sniper rifle. His luck was indeed heaven-defying. Jun Changxiao calmed down. He didn't bother with the system. Instead, he excitedly opened the detailed introduction. Item, Modified QBU-88 Sniper Rifle. Introduction, the original sniper rifle of the Chinese Army. After modification, it is suitable for the world of martial arts. The bullets are condensed from crystal nuclei. It can shoot accurately from a long distance. Effect, fast firing rate, long range, strong penetrating power. Duration, permanent. Weakness, although it has been modified, the bullet capacity is only 10 rounds. Also, the recoil is large. It needs to be supported on the ground to shoot. Otherwise, use with caution. Price, 100 contribution points. After seeing the price, Jun Changxiao stared and said, a modified sniper rifle is actually comparable to 2 bottles of quality modification liquid. The system said, the host doesn't have to buy it. If I don't buy it, my head will be kicked by a donkey. Jun Changxiao said. He had already clicked on the purchase button. Ding! The host has spent 100 contribution points. You have obtained a modified QBU-88 Sniper Rifle X1. It has been transferred into the spatial ring. Ding! Sect contribution points, 85,500. Before the notification ended, Jun Changxiao had already taken out the QBU-88 sniper rifle. The rifle was nearly 1 meter long. It was very heavy and very heavy. What was even more impressive was that the body of the rifle was painted in green camouflage. Schwa! With a thought, he took out the modified 8x scope and stuck it in the aiming slot. Jun Changshao raised his left hand and held it with his right hand. He closed his left eye and leaned his right eye against the lens. A man should play with a sniper rifle. Chapter 96. The moment he raised the Type 88 sniper rifle, Jun Changshao felt that he could kill gods and immortals. The system poured cold water on him. Although the sniper rifle is powerful, without the high-level crystal core to condense bullets, its power is about the same as the Desert Eagle. How about using the Earth Fire Wolf King's crystal core to make bullets? Jun Changshao asked. The system was silent for a while, then said, "It's okay." Jun Changshao and the gun entered the space ring, took out the Earth Fire Wolf King's crystal core, and loaded it with bullets like the Desert Eagle. Ding! 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 After a while, the Type 88 sniper rifle's magazine was lined with 10 bullet-shaped lights, indicating that all the bullets were loaded. As for the Earth Fire Wolf King's crystal core, it was all used up. Damn! Jun Changshao was shocked. So much energy. One Earth Fire Wolf King's crystal core, the Desert Eagle can continuously supply 14 bullets. The system said, the sniper rifle is powerful, so naturally it requires more energy to condense the bullets. Jun Changshao's mouth twitched. If I fire a shot, won't the recoil be as high as the sky? So. The system said seriously, without a strong body, it's best to use the bipod to support the shot. Ka. Jun Changshao opened the bipod and placed it on the window, then leaned against the lens and aimed at the night sky. Ding. Sniper rifle is loaded with bullets. Ding. Do you want to activate the 8x scope enhancement mode? Hearing the system's notification, Jun Changshao secretly said, "What the hell is this enhancement mode?" Although he did not understand, he still shouted in his heart, "Activate." Ding. The host has successfully activated the 8x scope enhancement mode, consuming 5 contribution points. Ding. Sect contribution points, 80500. Damn you. Jun Changshao scolded, deducting contribution points, do you have to be so deceitful? N. Suddenly, he felt the 8x scope tremble slightly. He hurriedly looked at it, and the expression on his face froze. In the scope's field of vision, he could clearly see the wild rabbits looking for food a few hundred meters away from the sect. Damn it! Jun Changshao said in disbelief, this is X-ray vision. Schwa! He moved the sniper rifle and aimed in another direction. As long as he could see all the animals that appeared at night clearly. Jun Changshao could not hide his excitement as he said, I am now Buddha Lulai. Schwa! He shifted his position again and aimed at the male disciple's room. He could clearly see Li Qingyang, Su Xiaoma, and the others in the room. Some of them were cultivating, while others were sleeping. Jun Changshao raised his gun and aimed at the female disciple's room. Just as he was about to move, he suppressed this thought and said in all seriousness, Jun Changshao, you are the leader of a sect. How can you do such a despicable thing as peeping at a female disciple? Yes. Just a quick glance. He still aimed his gun at the female disciple's room, but his gaze suddenly turned cold. Because when he moved, he discovered that there were 3 men in black hiding behind a rock a few hundred meters away from the sect. Assassin! Motherfucker, why are they here again? Just as the 8x scope locked onto the men in black, a soft voice sounded in his ear, Old 8 must be trapped in iron bone. We must find a way to save him. This little 9th-rate sect, could it be a dragon's lair or a tiger's den? After the 4 assassins of my drizzle building went in, they never came out again. In an instant, Jun Changshao determined that he had eavesdropped on their conversation. His mouth twitched, X-ray vision, eavesdropping, as expected of the enhanced mode. This iron bone is a bit strange. Let's first observe in the dark before we make a move. Friend, don't be in the dark. Your existence, even your whispers, can't be hidden under the 8x scope. The leader only gave us 3 days. Now there is only 1 day left. If we don't kill the leader of Iron Bone and save Old 8, it will be hard to report back. Kill me. Jun Chengxiao's gaze became colder. He had already guessed that the assassins who came to kill him earlier were hired by Spirit Spring Sect. This time, the assassins came again because of Drizzle building. Taking someone's money to get rid of a disaster for them is understandable. Jun Chengxiao said coldly, but you came to provoke me without an employer. Drizzle building, you are courting death. Since he dared to destroy Spirit Spring Sect, he naturally dared to destroy an assassin organization. Whoosh! Jun Chengxiao set up his sniper rifle and walked out of the room. He jumped onto the roof of the disciples' room and crawled down. He opened the mount and aimed the muzzle at the stone. Whoosh! In the 8x scope, the crosshair automatically locked onto the head of a man in black. As expected of the magically modified 8x scope. It had X-ray vision, eavesdropping, and self-aiming. It was simply too powerful. Crack! The bullet was loaded, and the safety was pulled. Jun Chengxiao only needed to pull the trigger and shoot, and he would definitely hit the assassin he had locked onto, and he would be able to make a headshot. Yi Xingqian, who was cultivating, felt a bit of dust fall from the roof, but he did not think much of it. He continued to circulate Tendon changing classic and gathered his spirit energy to attack his second meridian. After midnight, we will quietly sneak in. The man in black said in a low voice as he poked his head out from the edge of the stone. He did not know that there was a sniper hiding on the roof of the sect, and the muzzle was locked onto his head. Assassins were mainly assassins. Snipers were also mainly assassins. Their professions were similar, and they were like ghosts. At this moment, sect leader Jun was holding his sniper rifle, and it was a battle between 2 ghost professions. But, this guy cheated by using his X-ray vision. In front of him, the assassin had nowhere to hide. I have already scouted from above. Jun Chengxiao lives in an independent courtyard. When we rush in, kill him as quickly as possible. We cannot alert the Iron Bone disciples. Don't worry, fourth brother. We will definitely do it cleanly. Humph, Jun Chengxiao will not escape this time. The 2 men in black sneered. Ding! Side quest triggered. Opening the data panel, the quest was kill the assassin hiding outside the Sect 03, elite quest. The corners of Jun Chengxiao's mouth rose into a smile as he asked, at midnight? He was not in a hurry to shoot because the 2 men in black were hiding behind the stone. When they appeared in his field of vision, he would shoot them one by one. Huff! Jun Chengxiao took a light breath, and the fingers that were holding the gun began to relax, preparing to bear the recoil of the shot. Time passed, and it was midnight. Move! Swoosh! The leader of the men in black jumped out from behind the stone and jumped from tree to tree. One look and one could tell that he was a professional assassin. Unfortunately, no matter how cool and elegant he was, he could not escape the automatic aim of the devil multiplier. At this time, Jun Chengxiao could shoot with his eyes closed. Wait, wait. Wait for the other 2 men in black to come out. Swoosh! Swoosh! In a moment, the other 2 men in black came out from behind the stone. They did not stick together, but moved forward from different directions. Quite professional. Jun Chengxiao moved the muzzle slightly and locked onto the man in black jumping in front of him. His finger on the trigger suddenly pressed down. Bam! The loud sound shocked Yi Xingqian, who was cultivating in the room, and jumped out of bed. He crossed his arms and said vigilantly, "What's going on?" Bam! Bam! Right at this moment, Two loud bangs that sounded like firecrackers resounded, and it shook Yidi's eardrums to the point of ringing while astonishment suffused his eyes. Crack, crack, crack. Suddenly, there was a cracking sound above his head. He looked up, his pupils shrank, and cried out in sorrow, "What the fuck?" Boom. The room collapsed and dust flew everywhere. "What's going on?" Li Qingyang and Su Xiaoma, who were nearby, ran out in their pajamas. When they saw Yixingqian's room collapse, they stood there dumbfounded. Chapter 97. 3 deafening gunshots roused all the disciples of the inner yard, and they quickly gathered around. "Junior brother Yi is buried. Quick, quick, dig him out." All the disciples worked together, carrying the bricks and carrying the beam. In a short while, they carried out the dusty Yixingqian. Fortunately, he had undergone muscle-building training, or else he would have fainted long ago. "Senior brother." Suddenly, Su Xiaoma exclaimed, "It's the sect leader." "What?" Li Qingyang hurriedly jumped to the ruins and saw the sect leader's leg exposed, his whole body buried in the rubble. "Dig! Dig!" Everyone continued to move the bricks, and soon they also carried out the dusty Jun Changshao. He grimaced in pain and said, "Waste, waste, gently." "What's going on?" What else could he do? He pulled the trigger of the Type 88 sniper rifle and fired 3 shots outside. Although he killed the 3 assassins one by one and completed the side mission, the huge recoil almost caused him to suffer internal injuries. This was with the support of a leg stand. If he were to shoot, he would have been sent flying from the disciples' room to the cliff behind. "Motherfucker, it's so strong." Jun Changshao secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, he had enough strength. If he was in the meridian opening stage, the recoil would have caused him to die. Although his whole body was weak from the recoil, he was glad that he completed the side mission and was rewarded with 100 contribution points. Now his contribution points to the sect were 180. He had earned back the contribution points from buying the Type 88 sniper rifle, and only wasted 3 bullets and 5 contribution points. There was still another disciple's room. The recoil of the Type 88 sniper rifle was indeed strong. However, under the muscle-building training, Jun Changshao only needed to rest for a night, and his stiff body relaxed. He swung his arm, walked out of the sect, and came to the mountain forest. Of the 3 assassins last night, one had his head blown off, and the other 2 had their chests pierced. The reason why not all of them had their heads blown off was because after Jun Changshao blew off the first one's head, he found it too bloody and cruel, so he changed the 8x scope to automatic chest lock. Needless to say, the first assassin had his head blown off. As for the other 2 assassins, their wounds were as big as a fist. Jun Changshao looked back along the shooting trajectory and saw that the rocks in the distance had been blown to smithereens. His mouth twitched as he said, "I wasn't firing a sniper rifle. I was firing an artillery shell." Schwa. He squatted down, and after searching for a while, he found 3 spatial rings on the bodies of the 3 assassins. He then used the exquisite fire to incinerate the corpses. Inside the spatial rings of the 3 assassins, there was only one movement skill called Ghost Leap Steps, which cost less than 100 taels of silver. Jun Changshao took it and gave the rings to Li Qingyang, Su Xiaoma, and Xiao Ziji. "Thank you, sect leader." The 3 of them put on the rings and cupped their fists. "Qingyang." Jun Changshao said, "Gather the disciples. I have something to announce." "Yes." It didn't take long for the 100 disciples to gather and line up neatly on the training field. Jun Changshao walked out. After an impassioned speech, he began to let them receive 4 types of elixirs, 1 for each type. The effect of this healing elixir is that no matter how serious the injury is, as long as you take it, you will be healed immediately. As for the beginner-grade body-shaping elixir, after taking it, the strength of your physical body will. Jun Changshao introduced the effects of the elixirs one by one. The disciples holding the 4 types of elixirs all widened their eyes. It's so magical. Yi Xingchen was also very surprised. Although he didn't know much about alchemy in his previous life, he had eaten many high-quality elixirs. A healing elixir that could instantly heal injuries was definitely unheard of. As for strengthening the physical body and increasing the speed of cultivation, he had seen it before. However, those were all high-quality elixirs. How could a ninth-rate sect have them? And to make it so that everyone could have one? Yi Xingchen had doubts, but when he saw the disciples swallow the body-shaping elixirs, he also opened his mouth and threw the elixir into his mouth. When the elixir took effect and he felt the transformation of his blood and meridians, his expression changed again and again. Bang! Li Fei, level 7 meridian opening, strength of 1100 gene. Bang! Zhang Wei, level 6 meridian opening, strength of 930 gene. Bang! The Iron Bone disciples who had taken the beginner-grade body-shaping elixir were tested one by one under the witness of the second senior brother. Yi Xingchen, who was standing at the side, twitched his mouth. These youths had ordinary aptitudes, but each of them had displayed a strength stronger than their level. It was simply unbelievable. Normally, one level would increase their strength by 100 gene. For a level 5 meridian opening, being able to display a strength of 700 gene was already considered an innate god of strength. After the Iron Bone disciples who had taken the body-shaping elixir, after a round of testing, their strength was generally 150 to 300 gene higher than their original level. If it was a group of high-grade spiritual roots, it would be understandable. In reality, only a small portion of them had middle-grade spiritual roots. Most of them had low-grade spiritual roots. This also meant that the beginner-grade body-shaping elixir could forcefully increase the strength of Iron Bone disciples regardless of the grade of their spiritual roots. Not bad, not bad. After receiving the test results, Jun Changshao nodded in satisfaction and said, "Qingyang, don't let them relax. Continue to cultivate and strive to enter level 12 meridian opening as soon as possible." Yes. In the morning, with the accompaniment of divine music, Lu Wancher's top-notch meals, and the spirit formation room, the Iron Bone disciples were very happy and diligent in their cultivation. They knew that the reason they could become stronger day by day was all because of the sect leader's nurturing. In order to repay him, they could only continuously improve themselves. Gradually, there were disciples who successfully opened their meridians with the help of the spirit formation room and the spirit formation room. Calculating the time, it had been almost 2 months since they had arrived at Iron Bone. How was the progress of their martial arts? In the beginning, their average cultivation was only at level 2 or 3. Now, they had risen to level 7 meridian opening and could open a new meridian every few days. Jun Changshao sat on a wooden chair in the main hall and muttered, "In less than a month, the disciples should be able to enter level 12 meridian opening." Sect leader. Su Xiaoma ran in excitedly, unable to hide his excitement. Disciple has broken through to martial disciple. Successfully condensing a cyclone in his dantian and breaking through to martial disciple was also because of the cyclone pill. After a while, Tian Qi also came to report, "Sect leader, disciple has broken through to martial disciple." Jun Changshao said, "Not bad, not bad." Including him, Iron Bone already had 5 martial disciples. This was rare in a 9th-rate sect. After cultivating for 4 hours, Jun Changshao opened the status panel again and looked at the shop where the sniper rifle had been refreshed. Soon, he saw a martial technique called self-chop. He clicked on the details item, self-chop description. Originally, it was only half a martial technique. Later, it was modified by a mysterious almighty person and became a complete technique. Effect: gather spiritual energy in the palm and form a crescent-shaped flowing light chop. Advantage: after being modified by a mysterious almighty person, it is easy to learn. It is powerful and consumes less spiritual energy. It is suitable for long-distance combat. Disadvantage: can only be cultivated by martial disciples. Price: 10 contribution points. Rank: early middle rank, only early middle rank. Jun Changshao immediately lost interest. After all, the body metamorphose scripture that had been refreshed was early divine rank. The system said, to be called a mysterious almighty person, he must be an extremely powerful existence. A martial technique that was personally modified, although the rank is low, it must have endless wonderful uses. The host is recommended to purchase 5 stars. Is that so? Jun Changshao clicked on the purchase button. After all, 10 points wasn't expensive. Ding! The host has spent 10 contribution points and obtained Self-Chop X1. It has been transferred into the spatial ring. Ding! Sect contribution points, 177500. Ding! Detected that the host has purchased a spiritual energy martial technique from the shop, automatically matching it with the sect's martial technique. Chapter 98. Automatically matched with spiritual force type martial arts. Jun Changxiao's mind moved, and opened the complete system panel. Sect name, Iron Bone Clan. Sect leader, Jun Changxiao. Sect level, 9th rate. Sect construction, level 2. Sect function, medicine refining pavilion. Sect cultivation method, Yijin Jing, divine grade early stage, self/middle grade early stage. Sect member, 102500. Sect contribution points, 177,500. Sect achievement points, 0 out of 500. Sect mission, none. Sect main mission, within 100 years omitted here. Jun Changshao touched his chin and said, this kind of martial arts can also be cultivated by disciples. While speaking, he clicked on the sect's cultivation method, chose self/martial arts, and directly copied 1,000 books. Ding! Host has spent 10 contribution points, copied self/secret manual X1000, has been transferred to the spatial ring. Jun Changshao took out a book and read it, and said in surprise, it is indeed easy to understand. While speaking, he began to circulate according to the meridian circulation diagram on the secret manual, and in less than 10 minutes, he felt spiritual force gathering in his palm. Walking out of the main hall, he stood on the martial arts field and waved his hand in the air. Xiao, spiritual force erupted from his palm, forming a crescent shape, and swept across the ground, and finally exploded on the wooden stake that was erected a few days ago. Bang! The wooden stake exploded on the spot, and the shocked disciples all turned their heads to look. Oh my God! Su Xiaoma leaned over with his mouth open, and said in surprise, Sect leader, what kind of move is this? Jun Changshao clapped his hands, and said with a smile, a spiritual force type martial arts. Spiritual force type martial arts? Su Xiaoma suddenly opened his eyes wide. In his understanding, only those that gather spiritual force to attack are called spiritual force type martial arts, and they are very rare on the market, and the price is also extremely expensive. Here. Jun Changshao threw a self/book, patted his shoulder and said, take it and cultivate, if you can't learn it, then destroy your own meridians. Saying that, he turned around and returned to the main hall. Su Xiaoma caught the secret manual and saw the words, I chop, written on the cover. His eyes suddenly became hot and he said loudly, I will definitely succeed in practicing it. After returning to the main hall, Jun Changshao called Lu Qianqian, Li Qingyang, and Tian Qi over. He gave each of them a copy of self/ and told them to cultivate it. Spiritual energy type martial skill? Oh my God, this is not easy to find. Sect leader is too good to us. When Lu Qianqian saw the words early middle rank, she didn't have any plans to cultivate it. However, after flipping it open, she found that the incantation was easy to understand, so she began to try cultivating it. After the Iron Bone disciples learned about the spiritual force martial skill, they trained even harder because the sect leader had announced that anyone who became a martial disciple would be able to obtain it. Work hard, work even harder. The cultivation of iron bone was getting more and more intense, and the strength of the disciples was also getting stronger every day. As for the wandering swordsman Ma Yongning, he was released after being locked up for 5 days. However, he refused to leave the sect no matter what. Why didn't he leave? Because after being locked up for a few days, he had already been deeply impressed by Lu Wancher's cooking skills. He hugged his knife and begged for mercy on the stairs of the cafeteria. "Can you be a little more shameless?" Jun Changshao said. Ma Yongning was half lying down, with a "I'm so shameless" look. He said, "Sect leader Jun, let's write off our grudges. As long as you let me stay and eat Lady Lu's food every day, I'll do anything." Jun Changshao, damn it, if I knew earlier, I wouldn't have given him food. Sect leader. Lu Wancher blinked her eyes and said, "The cafeteria still lacks someone to wash the dishes. Why don't we let him stay and do the chores?" "Sure." Ma Yongning stood up with a whoosh, showing his rough hands, and said with incomparable pride, "This pair of hands was born to wash dishes." Jun Changshao held his chin and said, Du is busy in the cafeteria every day. It's time to find some helpers to share the chores." Xiao Mu. "Yes. Pull the 2 assassins over as well. Let them do chores in the cafeteria. If they don't cooperate, then there's only one word: beat them up ruthlessly." "Yes." Su Xiaoma went to the prison. On the way, the corner of his mouth twitched. Those 2 words are long enough. Just like that, Ma Yongning and the 2 assassins started to work in the cafeteria. Moreover, they were willing to do it because Lu Wancher's cooking was too delicious. In ancient times, there was an unyielding king who could commit treason with a bowl of fried rice. Today, there were cold-blooded and heartless assassins who could lower their heads after eating a few dishes. The disciples were tirelessly cultivating. Jun Changshao began to think about drizzle building, saying, "The 3 assassins sent to kill me haven't returned yet. The other party will definitely make a move. Should he eliminate them?" No. Jun Changshao dispelled the idea. Because they came to assassinate him 3 times in a row and triggered 2 side missions, this assassin organization was just giving him rice. If he eliminated them, wouldn't it be the same as running out of food? The system said, "The host is thinking too much." Nonsense. Jun Changshao said, "If I don't think too much, how am I going to survive in the cruel falling star continent?" The Iron Bone disciples wholeheartedly immersed themselves in cultivation. Jun Changshao didn't stay idle either. He would either walk around the cultivation room or comprehend the body metamorphose scripture in the inner court. During this period of time, the Azure Sun County was in an uproar. This was because the AI clan of Huyang City announced to the public that they had newly developed a healing pill that could quickly recover from injuries. How fast? The slogan was as follows: as long as you still have a breath of life, as long as you are reluctant to part with the mortal world, consuming a healing pill would allow you to quickly recover in a few breaths. Your waist, kidney, you, and him. Wasn't it too exaggerated? This was the first reaction of the martial artists in the Azure Sun County when they heard the news. However, when they thought about how the AI clan had been in the business of alchemy for generations, they probably wouldn't spread rumors and ruin their hard-earned reputation. 3 days later, the AI clan will hold a healing pill auction in Huyang City. It is said that only 9 pills will be auctioned. Many clans and sects are rushing over. Let's go. Let's go and take a look. In a short period of time, cultivators from the Azure Sun County swarmed into Huyang City from all directions. The number of people was even greater than the number of spectators at the tournament. From this, one could see how alluring the healing pill was. Of course, many clans and sects were doubtful. The AI clan also understood that they had to prove the healing effects of the healing pill. Thus, when the auction started, they pulled out the young master of the Sun City's Song clan, who had been bedridden for many years. It's the second young master of the Song clan. The second genius of the Azure Sun County, who was only second to Xiao Ziji, was attacked by a low-rank 5 vicious beast while cultivating in the wilderness. In the end, his entire body was paralyzed. This is truly heartbreaking. Could it be that the AI clan invited him here to prove the healing effects of the healing pill? The second young master of the Song clan has been bedridden for so long. Can a single healing pill really cure him? Everyone discussed fervently. Everyone. AI Shang walked out and said, in order to prove the healing effects of the AI clan's newly developed healing pill, we have reached an agreement with the Song clan's clan head yesterday. We will buy one for 30,000 silver taels. Everyone can bear witness to whether it can cure the second young master of the Song clan. As he spoke, he passed the pill to the Song clan head. Everyone turned to look at him. The Song clan head's hands trembled as he held on to the pill. Yesterday, the AI clan had repeatedly assured him that the pill was effective. It was inevitable that he would be agitated. Father. The second young master of the Song clan was half lying on the chair. With a pale face, he said, let the child consume it. Even if it's poison, it doesn't matter. As a genius second only to Xiao Ziji, due to being bedridden and unable to move, he had already lost all hope. If he could move, he would have ended his life long ago. The Song clan head walked over and personally fed the pill to his son. Tears streamed down his face as he prayed for a miracle to happen. A miracle came after consuming the pill. The hands of the second young master of the Song clan trembled slightly. Then, under everyone's gaze, he straightened his back and finally, stood up with great effort. Chapter 99. I'm standing up, Father. I'm standing up, I'm standing up. The second young master of the Song clan was ecstatic. Tears gathered in his eyes and his legs started to tremble. He gradually adapted to the long-awaited support. 3 years. More than 1,000 days. He had spent it all in bed. For a martial artist, a genius with extraordinary aptitude, this was definitely a torture worse than death. Today, the second young master of the Song clan stood up. He once again felt the weight of the earth and felt that his body belonged to him. What made him even more excited was that after his meridians were reconnected, his cultivation was still at the 7th stage of the meridian opening realm. Whoosh! Whoosh! He clenched his fists and 7 circles of light surrounded him. Excitement, excitement, all kinds of emotions filled his heart. The second young master of the Song clan could no longer control himself. Tears flowed down his cheeks. A man does not cry easily. It was only because he was not too excited. Seeing his son stand up, his pale face regained some color, and the gathering of spiritual energy, the old master of the Song clan's hands trembled and his eyes were filled with tears. The martial artists in the auction hall widened their eyes in disbelief. The young master of the Song clan, who had been paralyzed in bed for 3 years, ate a healing pill and not only stood up, his cultivation was still intact. If they did not see it with their own eyes, they would not believe it. AI Shang sighed in relief. At first, he was worried that the healing pill could not cure people who had been ill for a long time. Now that the young master of the Song clan had proven it, the following auction would definitely be, not bad. Very popular, super popular. All the major clans and sects witnessed the heaven-defying pill. Their eyes flashed with enthusiasm. Everyone. AI Shang walked to the auction stage and said loudly, the healing pill developed by the AI clan is suitable for martial disciples and meridian opening realm cultivators. As for the effect, I believe all of you have seen it. Let's begin the auction. Only suitable for martial disciples and meridian opening realm cultivators. Many martial artists' eyes were filled with regret. But thinking about it, if there was no restriction, no matter how serious the injury, it would be too terrifying. They had to buy it. The wealthy clans and sects made up their minds. Looking forward, AI Shang said loudly, the starting price of the first healing pill is 10,000 taels, 20,000 taels. 30,000 taels, 35,000 taels. 40,000 taels. As soon as the auction began, all the major clans and sects began to bid fiercely. As for those martial artists who did not have enough money, they could only shut up. After a round of fierce bidding, the first healing pill was won by the 6-stream True Essence sect for a price of 100,000 taels. This was a sky-high price. The reason why the Zhen Yuan sect was so desperate was not because they had too much money, but because one of their direct disciples had been seriously injured like the Song family's young master for many years. These days, all the clans and sects had a few patients. Can you guarantee that you won't get hurt for the rest of your life? When the True Origin sect won the healing pill at the price of 100,000 taels, many martial artists realized that this kind of pill that could quickly heal injuries was destined to become a luxury item that they could only sigh at. Yes, luxury goods. Because for the next 7 healing pills that were auctioned off, the families and sects that had deep financial resources and profound backgrounds fought to the death, and the final price was all 100,000 yuan. The last one was sold for 120,000 taels. A single healing pill was actually worth 12 spirit stones. This was absolutely shocking. However, after the auction ended, things didn't end there. News of the AI clan's recovery pellet swiftly healing the Song clan's second son swept through the Azure Sun County like a storm. Really? The Song clan's young master had been paralyzed for 3 years. They searched for countless famous doctors but still couldn't cure him. Is this a rumor? I went to Sun City the day before yesterday and saw the Song clan's young master playing on the streets as if he was flying. He didn't look like a patient who had been paralyzed for 3 years. If the Song clan's second young master's recovery was still doubtful, then not long after, the severely injured direct disciple of the 6-stream True Essence sect came down the mountain and completely convinced them. For a time, the news of the recovery pellet caused a huge commotion and even spread to the outer counties. All the families with patients rushed to Huyang City. However, when they arrived at the AI clan, the reply they received from the AI clan's patriarch was, "This kind of miraculous healing pill is really difficult to refine. Please wait for news of the auction and come back to purchase it in the future." Many families left helplessly. The clans and sects with genius patients chose to stay in Huyang City and wait for the day when the AI clan's recovery pellet would be sold again. Then, did anyone have any evil thoughts? Yes, but they forcefully dispelled them. After all, the AI clan was an old and famous pellet family. They didn't have much power on the surface, but they had a lot of connections. Offending the AI clan was equivalent to offending the Jianghu. See you in the Jianghu, that's right. If you offend me, I'll write you to death. Clan leader. One day, Su Xiaoma said, the AI clan's patriarch is here to visit Huyang City. Jun Changshao, who was cultivating, opened his eyes and smiled, invite the AI clan's patriarch into the main hall. Yes. Su Xiaoma left. Jun Changshao touched his nose out of habit and said, looks like the AI clan's patriarch has already sold the recovery pellet. AI Shang's visit was expected, but he didn't expect him to come in just a few days. In the main hall of the sect, Jun Changshao walked out and cupped his hands, the AI clan's patriarch has come to visit. Your presence brings light to my Iron Bone sect. As the leader of a sect, there was no lack of pleasantries, let alone a business partner. AI Shang hurriedly got up and cupped his hands in greeting, I haven't seen you for a few days, but clan leader Jun's cultivation has improved a lot. After some pleasantries, he went straight to the point, clan leader Jun, the 9 recovery pellets have been sold. How much? 850,000 taels. Clan leader Jun's face looked calm, but he was roaring in his heart, my mother must have been kicked in the head by a donkey. I only asked for 10,000 taels. Clan leader Jun, AI Shang placed a stack of banknotes on the table and smiled, this is 200,000 taels. Consider it a bonus. Please accept it. He's worthy of being called a businessman, he's very particular. Jun Changshao waved his hand and put the banknotes into his space ring. He smiled and said, I didn't find the wrong long-term partner. Long-term partner? Ai Shang was overjoyed. Clan leader Jun, could it be that you still have recovery pellets? Jun Changshao rested his chin on his hand and smiled. Isn't this the reason why the Ai clan's patriarch came to visit? Ai Shang was quite embarrassed when his thoughts were pointed out, but he still cupped his hands and said, it's my honor and the Ai clan's honor to be able to obtain clan leader Jun's trust. As a businessman, money was the most important thing. Recovery pellets could bring in huge profits, so he naturally spared no effort in flattering clan leader Jun. Jun Changshao said, the Ai clan's patriarch's words are too serious. You and I are now the most sincere partners. He put the bottle of recovery pellets on the table and said, I still have 10 recovery pellets here. The Ai clan's patriarch can take them and sell them. As for the price, give me 1 million taels. Ai Shang said straightforwardly. Jun Changshao heard this and swallowed back the 500,000 taels. He despised himself intensely in his heart. Jun Changshao, look at yourself. He said straightforwardly, deal. The Ai clan's patriarch hurriedly took out 1 million taels of banknotes and a contract. After signing the contract, the deal was done. But before leaving, Jun Changshao reminded him, Ai clan's patriarch, I don't want to show my face in public. That's why I'm cooperating with the Ai clan. I hope you can understand. I understand. Understand what? He understood that the Iron Bone clan's patriarch didn't want others to know that this heaven-defying recovery pellet was made by him. After the Ai clan's patriarch left, Li Qingyang came to see him and said, Clan leader, when will Junior Marshal Brother Ye's collapsed room be rebuilt? Jun Changshao casually threw a stack of banknotes and said, rebuild my ass. Just rebuild the inner courtyard according to the Imperial Palace's forbidden grounds. Also, expand the outer courtyard. Li Qingyang held the thick stack of banknotes and counted them slightly. He exclaimed, 100,000 taels. Chapter 100. Li Qingyang, who was holding 100,000 taels of silver, was stunned on the spot. Coming from a family, he did not have much concept of money, but he knew that this amount was huge. Using it to rebuild the Iron Bone could only be said to be extravagant. Li Qingyang hurried back to his room, picked up a brush and ink, and started to draft the reconstruction plan. The inner yard needed to be rebuilt, and the outer yard needed to be expanded. This was a huge project, and he had to seriously plan it. After a night of designing, the sketch was done. The Iron Bone main hall in the outer yard did not change, and it was still at the northernmost side. The rest of the buildings were all changed. The training field was enlarged, and more buildings were added. The inner yard also changed a lot. Not only did they add greenery, but they also added a lot of rooms, enough to accommodate 1,000 disciples. Of course, Li Qingyang also considered Lu Wanshi, and specially divided the vegetable field and the livestock pen. With enough funds, this reconstruction was definitely a bold and decisive one. Once it was completed, it would be a brand new Iron Bone Jing sect. Not bad. After looking at the sketch, Jun Changshao was very satisfied. Li Qingyang pointed at a few blank areas on the sketch, and said, I've decided to build a wing here first. After it's completed, everyone can move in first, and then we can rebuild the other areas. This way, we won't have to live in the outer yard. Jun Chang smiled and said, You've considered everything thoroughly. He gave the task of rebuilding the sect to Li Qingyang because he valued his steady and cautious personality. Simply put, he was suitable to be the head butler. Li Qingyang would definitely be the internal affairs elder if he wanted to divide the elders' positions. Sect master, when will we start the reconstruction? 3 days later. Yes. Li Qingyang left. Jun Changshao touched his chin and said, after the reconstruction of the sect is completed, we'll open the mountain gate to recruit disciples. Once we have 500 people, we'll trigger the sect mission. When the sect was upgraded to level 2, he did not recruit disciples immediately because he wanted to strengthen this batch of disciples first. AI Shang took 10 beginner healing pills and returned to the AI family. However, they were not in a hurry to auction it off. Instead, they were waiting for the news to spread so that more forces would know about it. Previously, he had sold 9 healing pills for 850,000. Now, he had spent 1 million to buy 10 from Jun Changshao. No matter how he looked at it, it seemed like a loss. Otherwise. AI Shang had absolute confidence that the price of the 10 recovery pellets would exceed 1 million taels in the second auction. If a businessman couldn't raise the price of a heaven-defying pill to a higher price, then he wouldn't be worthy of the word businessman. Of course. At the same time, AI Shang was also pondering. If the news of the healing pills were to spread, it would alarm the major powers and sections. How would he explain himself? 3 days later. A large number of craftsmen entered the iron bone factory and began to expand the inner courtyard. Because it was built in another area, it did not affect the disciples' residence and rest. They could continue to cultivate as usual. Sect leader. One day, Li Qingyang came to report, last night, another 9 disciples opened their 10th meridian. Other than junior brother Xiao, junior brother Yi, and junior sister Lu, the other disciples have all reached the 10th stage of the meridian opening realm. Not bad, not bad. Jun Changshao said with satisfaction. Calculating the time, this batch of disciples had just been recruited for 2 months. To reach the 10th stage from the 2nd or 3rd stage was quite fast. Let them continue to work hard. Those who break through to the martial disciple realm will be given the self/manual, Jun Changshao said. Yes. Li Qingyang left. Jun Changshao stood up and went to the training room. Xiao Ziji was in the muscle building room. There were still 2 hours left. Creak. At this moment, the door of another muscle building room opened. Yi Xingqian, who had been beaten black and blue, slid out and panted heavily. Ever since his room collapsed, he had been cultivating in the training room. His strength was not inferior to Xiao Ziji's. Needless to say, he had made great progress. His originally weak body had become much stronger. As for his realm, he had broken through from the 1st stage to the 3rd stage. His explosive strength had reached 800 jin. Normally, with Yi Xingqian's physical aptitude, it would be considered good if he could exert 400 jin. The extra 400 jin was due to the Yi Jin Jing, the Taixian Sutra, the muscle building room, and the body shaping pill. Jun Changshao could also see that he had changed a lot during this time, so he smiled and said, "Now, do you still feel wronged by joining the Iron Bone sect?" Yi Xingqian was silent. Previously, he must have been brooding over the fact that he was forced to join the Iron Bone sect despite being a reborn martial emperor. Now, he was. That's right, it was really good. Schwa. Jun Changshao went into the muscle building room. After 2 hours of sculpting, Xiao Ziji was waving the testing machine again and again. The strength on it was constantly changing. 3,000 jin. 3,200 jin, bang. When the last punch was thrown, the strength was fixed at 2,500 jin. Without opening his meridians, just by tempering his body, his strength had reached the level of a 3rd stage martial disciple. It was really inconceivable. However, Xiao Ziji did not feel happy at all. Instead, he lowered his arms in dejection. Jun Changshao walked over and said, "What are you thinking about?" "Sect Master, I." Xiao Ziji paused and said bitterly, "During this period of cultivation, my body has reached its limit. It will be very difficult for it to improve." Jun Changshao said, "A martial artist's true strength lies not only in their body, but also in many other aspects, such as weapons and equipment. Come with me." He brought Xiao Ziji to the back of the mountain and took out the QBU-88 sniper rifle. He placed it on the ground and said, "Try to fire a shot." "Can I?" Xiao Ziji was stunned. Jun Changshao said, "If your body can handle it, this sniper rifle is yours." The system reminded, although this disciple can use the sniper rifle, the magically modified 8x scope function can only be triggered by the host. So fucked up. Jun Changshao frowned. In his mind, Xiao Ziji could not open his meridians and could not condense his spirit energy. He would train him to be a sniper. After all, his body was strong, so it should not be a problem for him to bear the recoil. But now, the magically modified 8x scope, self-aiming, X-ray vision, and other functions could not be triggered by this disciple. How could he achieve 100% accuracy? Phew! Xiao Ziji let out a long sigh of relief. He walked to the front of the QBU-88 sniper rifle, obviously wanting to try it out. Jun Changshao personally taught him how to hold the gun, and how to get close to the 8x scope. He also explained the range, firing speed, and wind speed. He said, "Do you understand?" "Understood." "That small rock a few hundred feet in front of you, break it." As he spoke, Jun Changshao had already moved far away, afraid that the recoil from the shot would implicate him. Shwa! Xiao Ziji crouched down, holding the gun with one hand. The end of the gun was pressed against his shoulder. One of his eyes leaned against the lens, and after checking, he immediately pulled the trigger. Bang! The muzzle spat out fire. Like a cannonball, a stream of light shot out. It accurately hit a small rock more than 500 meters away, and blew it to pieces. So accurate. Jun Changshao opened his eyes wide. When he retracted his gaze and looked at Xiao Ziji, he found that the gun was still there, and the ground under the support was sunken. That guy had disappeared into thin air. Where is he? Where is he? Sect. Sect Master. More than 10 meters behind him, Xiao Ziji was paralyzed on a tree branch. His mouth was foaming, and he weakly said, "Disciple. Disciple is here." Chapter 101. The recoil of the Type 88 sniper rifle is really strong. Xiao Ziji fired a shot. Even with the support of his leg, he was still sent flying for more than 10 meters. However, there were two things that surprised Jun Changshao. First, this kid was very accurate. Second, after resting for a while, he stood up as if nothing had happened. My cultivation is higher than his, but I had to rest for most of the night before I could adjust. The system explained, that's because the host fired 3 shots in a row. The recoil is very strong, but he only fired 1 shot. So that's how it is. Jun Changshao suddenly realized. No matter what, Xiao Ziji's shooting talent and his strong body made him even more determined to train him into a sniper. "I've sinned." Jun Changshao said, "This Type 88 sniper rifle is yours. When you have time, try to get a feel for it." "Yes." Xiao Ziji picked up the gun. Although he remembered the recoil and felt a chill down his spine, but when he saw the broken stone, his eyes were burning. Men love guns, it is their nature. Even men from another world are no exception. Following this, Xiao Ziji would take out 2 hours every day to lie on the grass, stones, and trees in the back mountain. One of his eyes would lean on the lens, aiming at something in the distance. He did not fire the gun because the head said that there were only 6 bullets left in the gun. In order to better adapt to the recoil, Xiao Ziji would also stand on the martial arts field and let his senior brothers hit him with thick logs. "Junior brother, are you ready?" "Ta!" Xiao Ziji stepped forward, his upper body exposed. He patted his right shoulder where the gun was and said, "Senior brothers, come. Go." Su Xiaoma ordered. 10 disciples holding the logs fiercely hit him, but with a bang sound, he was sent flying. The muscle sculpting machine is based on science to refine the body and maximize the muscle enhancement. This method is quite extreme. Shua. Xiao Ziji climbed up and returned to his previous position. He once again got into a horse stance and endured the pain, again. Boom. Again. Boom. Again. Again. On the steps of the main hall, as he watched Xiao Ziji fall and stand up again and again, Li Qingyang said, "Sect Master, junior brother Xiao wants to become stronger too much." Jun Changshao leaned his arms against the stone railing and said, "Qingyang, although your junior brother has become the champion of the Sect's martial arts competition and proved himself with his strength, he still has to surpass his former fiancée." Li Qingyang said in a deep voice, "Sect leader, as far as I know, junior martial brother Zhao's fiancée is called Murong Xian. She is a direct descendant of the Murong clan, one of the 4 great clans of Tianhai County." Tianhai County. Jun Changshao had a vague impression of it. It seemed to be a county with a large population. He asked, "Is the Murong family very strong?" Li Qingyang was silent for a while, then said, "If we were to calculate according to the ranking of the sects, the Murong family of Tianhai County is at least not weaker than the Tsang Mountain sect." Jun Changshao said in surprise, "So strong?" Li Qingyang said, "Murong Xian has the best spiritual root. She was accepted as a direct disciple by the 11th elder of the second-rate sect, the Lily Holy Sect." Jun Changshao didn't care about the best spiritual root. What he cared about was the Lily Holy Sect. This name was really meaningful. He joked, "Is there a gay sect?" "Gay sect?" Li Qingyang scratched his head and said, "I have never heard of it." Jun Changshao went back to the topic and said, "A family comparable to a 5th-rate sect, and a disciple of a 2nd-rate sect. This Murong Xian is really not simple. However." He touched his chin and said, "Since she is so outstanding, why is she engaged to Zui Ji?" "They were engaged before they were born," Li Qingyang said. Jun Changshao said, "No wonder." Looking at Xiao Ziji who was training, he murmured, "It will be very difficult for my disciple to surpass the woman who abandoned him." Only difficult is challenging. Only then can he prove his ability to train his disciple. Murong Xian of the Murong family, just you wait. One day, I will make you understand how stupid it was to break the engagement. The craftsmen in the inner courtyard were building in full swing. The disciples were also cultivating. 7 days passed peacefully. Iron Bone welcomed a historic moment. Except for Xiao Ziji, Lu Wanshi, and Yixingchen, all the other disciples broke through to the 12th stage. Tian Qi, Li Fei, Zhang Wei, and the others became martial disciples. The number of disciples increased from 5 to 10. Under normal circumstances, a 9th-rate sect having 3 to 5 martial disciples was not bad. Iron Bone had 10, which was undoubtedly very powerful. Strange. Jun Changshao opened the data panel and saw that the sect was still a 9th-rate sect. He was puzzled and said, "The sect has 9 martial disciples, and the rest are all at the 12th stage. Why haven't they upgraded?" The system said, "The promotion of the sect is not decided by the system. It needs to be certified by the relevant department of the Falling Star continent." "Which department?" "You can ask the disciples." Jun Changshao called Li Qingyang over. Li Qingyang said, "Sect leader, as far as I know, if you want the sect to enter the 8th rate, you need to go to the sect certification hall to be certified." Sect certification hall? Where is it? Qingyang City. What kind of certification is it? Li Qingyang thought for a while and said uncertainly, "It seems to be bringing disciples who meet the requirements to be certified." So troublesome. I'm too lazy to go. Jun Changshao dismissed the idea of going for certification. In his opinion, as long as the sect was strong, it didn't matter if it was considered a 9th-rate sect. In the weeds at the back of the mountain, Xiao Ziji was covered in weeds. Only his eyes were exposed. He was lying motionless. Shua. After a long time, a relatively large wild boar walked out about 600 meters ahead. Xiao Ziji lowered his head slightly. One of his eyes was on the lens. He locked onto the wild boar's head and pulled the trigger. Bang! The gunshot rang out. Xiao Ziji held the gun and was knocked back 2 meters. As for the wild boar, its head was accurately shot and its body fell to the ground. Su Xiaoma ran over and lifted it up. Junior brother Xiao, your marksmanship is really accurate. Who? Xiao Ziji stood up. He held the gun in one hand and rubbed his numb right shoulder with the other. A bright smile appeared on his face. After 7 days of training in the molding room and extreme body tempering, he was no longer hanging from a tree branch because of the recoil like the first time he fired the gun. Not bad, not bad. Jun Chengshao clapped his hands and walked out. Xiao Ziji lay motionless on the ground for 4 hours. When the prey appeared, he quickly shot it in the head. He was definitely a natural sniper. This was the advantage of being a genius. Even if he was not good in martial arts, he could still perform well in other things. I have sinned. Jun Chengshao said, when the sentry tower is built, the heavy responsibility of protecting the sect will be handed over to you. This guy gave the Type 88 sniper rifle to Xiao Ziji and let him become a sniper. He hoped that he could protect the sect and not let others get close. Although there was a sect protection array, it was still 1 contribution point per day. It was impossible to burn it over a long period of time. If a sniper was placed at the sentry tower, he could instantly kill any suspicious person or assassin. That would be very comfortable. Yes. Xiao Ziji said. But, he said weakly, sect leader, there are only 5 bullets left. Jun Chengshao held his chin and said, yes, there are a little less bullets. We have to go to Qingyang City to buy some cores. Qingyang. Inform the disciples who broke through to martial disciple to follow me to Qingyang City's Sect Certification Center tomorrow. Since he was going to Qingyang City, he had to get certified on the way. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.